What the fuck is up, Melbourne? We're live direct to the streets of Melbourne, coming to you from the Reckoning. We're with the old mate. He's gonna drop a few gems.
Yeah, bro.
A few fucking gems of wisdom.
We are from Laylaw. My name is Charles, and this is my brother.
Young MiiiKXY.
Yeah, that's my younger brother right there. Alright, so we're gonna jam for a bit.
Would you guys like to be included in the Reckoning podcast?
Fuck yeah, bro.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit tipsy at the moment, so I just want to jam for a bit.
Me too.
I wish I had a
Let's do some
guitar,
jams.
but we don't, so we're gonna do a bit of acapella for you.
These men have beautiful voices.
This is my younger brother Phil. Can you say it again? Can you give him a bit of a taste of what you got?
Your shawty grip on my head.
And that's my brother Phil. My name is Charles. This is what I got. Nah, all good. I'm the comedian of the family. Okay, so we're gonna sing you a bit of a song for the young ladies. This one goes out to all them young girls I didn't pick up tonight. Are y'all ready? Okay.
It's how many fellas ever seen her. It was about 5 minutes ago. When I seen the hottest chick that was young and never seen before. I say, yo, tell my friends I wanna meet her. On second thought, that ain't the way to go. Gotta give a game proper and spit it till she hear this. She is, I gotta stop her. Make sure that took about a smile.
Let it go.
Put it by the start.
Let it roll.
I'm out of time. She's at the door. Gotta go for mine. I think I say yeah.
I don't know your name, but excuse me, miss. I saw you from across the room.
And I gotta admit that you got my attention, making me wanna say yeah.
I know you're trying to play, but excuse me, miss. I say we're gonna dance for you.
I would love to keep you here with me, oh baby. Let's try to grip on my hand.
And let's pretend the flow is ours. You know you don't really care. Ain't no worry about it. Just 1, 2 step. 1, 2 step.
The music is pulling too fast. Just get my hand a little tighter. Don't be afraid to move a little closer. Got something about you that makes me wanna see you.
Don't know your name, but excuse me, miss.
Oh yeah.
Saw you from across the room.
I gotta give a game proper. Let's spit it till she it is. She is. I gotta stop it. Oh yeah.
Know you're trying to play, but excuse me, miss. I say the last dance for you.
I would love to keep you here with me, oh baby.
Okay.
And I'll dance with you.
Wow.
That was fucking beautiful, brother.
Alright, that goes out
so
to...
fucking
So
amazing.
you do one more time. That's one.
I wish I could sing like that.
Song.
What song is that? I've
Britney.
heard that.
Oh no, you can't ask these boys to sing Britney Spears.
We are soulful men.
They
do not sing Britney up
They
in
are
this bitch.
soulful. They're soulful men. Yeah.
Alright, a song you would know.
How about some soulful music that we all know, man? Like maybe a bit of Al Green, maybe a bit of something like that. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Say it again.
Let's get freaky, baby.
Say it again.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Alright, you go.
Direct the Reckoning. How you been?
Not too bad.
Fuck yeah. We're just gonna align the feng shui, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Buddha, getting down, getting groovy, balancing the yin yang of Melbourne. We were talking about how the Buddha reached enlightenment and the kind of steps that he went through. I mean, this isn't a religious podcast, but I noticed these archetypes and shit with people and life and everything, and I think people discount religion a little bit these days in the sense that they think, it's all just some superstition, fucking old blokes who didn't know what was going down in the real educated Melbourne. But I think there's some fucking universal truths that is talked about in all religions, and one of them is the path that the Buddha took, and shit we're going to talk about tonight at the Reckoning. Do you have a lighter by any chance, bro?
Yes.
Could I pinch a cider, brother?
Oh, yeah.
Ledge. Meditating on the Reckoning, bro. Fuck yeah.
Here's a chick up.
Could you do me a favour and open that? I'm sorry, brother. I'm just multiple fractures in.
Actually, will I be able to go half as you
Fuck, it's your fucking cider. Of course you can, brother. Fucking representing the reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna relearn the feng shui, so the MiiiKXY is not on the skateboard. And I'm gonna let my sugar. Spit out you. And so the Buddha. The Buddha. Fuck, man. What an enlightened motherfucker. Now, how do you reckon he reached that enlightenment?
So, from what I understand, Buddha ultimately reached his enlightenment through practices of Zen, and he had taken his greatest vice and denied himself his greatest vice, and through that, by not being controlled by anything outside of himself, in a sense, he managed to become a purer form of consciousness and became enlightened. That's how he achieved his first enlightenment on reincarnation.
So he took the vice that was most important to him. So maybe that vice is what is in stopping him from vibing with nature, maybe having the correct feng shui with the cosmos.
Well, the way I see it at the moment is we all have our vices, and vices are just distractions, man. While you have these different compulsions that have power over you, you can't truly become relaxed and you can't truly become zen. And
man, it's like Tupac said, didn't he? It's like, no fear, I have no fear, only ambition, motherfuckers. Like, that's the way you gotta be if you want to be a fucking soldier in the streets of Melbourne. You know, you have to write your goals on the calendar, ladies and gentlemen, and you have to realize and objectively look at your life and see all the shit that is inhibiting you from reaching those goals.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, it's common sense, really, but not a lot of people do that.
And it's hard to deny yourself. To deny yourself requires discipline. And at the end of the day, every morning you wake up and in that moment you're completely in charge, and you decide whether or not to get out of bed, whether or not to be constructive or to be sorry. And yeah, do you mind if I just tell my personal kind of story?
Yes, I'd love to hear it, brother. Sid, like, this is what we do at The Reckoning, man. We speak from the heart, you know, you just say whatever you reckon. And, like, we're not about absolute truths here, we're more about personal reckonings of
of course.
What you believe
what's
is
working
true.
for you.
Yeah, of course. This is what we're interested in here at The Reckoning, trying to empathize with our fellow fucking reckoners.
And my personal story is I've spent a lot of time working in places that I never felt appreciated, and through that kind of entered a bit of a personal spiral over the last couple of months. And I had a bunch of savings, and so I was essentially in the garden. You know, I didn't in the Garden of Eden. I didn't have anything, any commitments. I didn't have anything that I had to do, and I had.
Pursuing something.
Well, I was trying to settle my mind, man. And while I had all the money, or like, you know, all the money, I had enough money to do what I wanted for a while. I didn't feel better. In fact, I started to get worse and worse as I was just constantly satisfying my pleasures and satisfying my desires. I was becoming more and more lost. And then it got to a point where the money had run out, and then I was left with nothing. Synchronistically, I began listening to Alan Watts' podcast. Do you know Alan Watts?
I love Alan Watts. Does he have a podcast, bro? I listen to that show. Do you listen to that, bro?
I've listened to a bit of it, yeah. Tommy was playing it for me when I went over to his house. He's crazy.
Man, I've just heard a few really cool quotes from the guy, but I haven't actually really gone into it. But yeah, it seems like he's on the same tip of, like, almost what you say, like Jim Carrey is at the moment. He's like, he's really, you know, really out there, man. But yeah, please continue your story, brother.
So yeah, I'd eventually reached rock bottom. I'd listened to Alan Watts, and he was describing Zen Buddhism, which I've been aware of for a while, but hadn't been fully ready to actually accept and commit to. And now with myself, I'm eating only one meal a day. I've stopped smoking, I've stopped drinking. I'm still smoking cigarettes, but that's quite a hard vice to get over. And
But you're doing good though, man. You're cutting out a lot of them.
yeah, man. And every morning I wake up, and at the moment I'm doing Uber Eats. So I'm riding a push bike very hard for a couple hours a day, trying to make enough though. That's the whole point. My entire deal right at the moment is to not want and to not need, and just to refine myself down to a point where I wake up and existence is enough. I don't want to, because I've always been chasing something, man. And I think that the number one way to fully satisfy yourself is to accept nothing and to want nothing and to have nothing. And like the last couple of weeks, I wake up, I eat very meagerly because I can't afford anything too crazy. I'm not, there's many days where I don't have cigarettes, I don't have anything, and I just focus on survival and just getting by in my day-to-day. And definitely, I feel like I've already reached a degree of enlightenment, because I've spent a couple of weeks now with nothing and just getting by and just eating and drinking enough so that I don't die. And this morning I spent some time with a friend and we went to a cafe and she bought me a coffee, and it was such a beautiful, bright day, man. I was filled with an energy that I haven't felt in such a long time, and it was an energy of
Zen state.
Well, it was thankfulness and appreciation for what I have received, rather than constantly being spoiled and constantly being lavish.
Gratefulness.
Yeah,
We don't have a lot of that in society these days, I find. People are pretty ungrateful for a lot of stuff. They don't take the time to sit and reflect and think about all the things that they're grateful for in their lives.
Definitely, man.
I have a question though, in the sense of that Zen state. Do you think diet plays a role in that? Because I know Jim Carrey, talking about Jim Carrey a lot. I fucking love you, Jim. He said that the ketogenic diet has helped him quite a lot. Do you think diet plays a role in achieving the Zen state?
Well, I think that food is often contrary to Zen, because food is an addiction. To be gluttonous is to oversatisfy, and when you eat too much and you have too much, then, when you eat too much and you have too much, it
distracts you, right?
It distracts you, and you lose appreciation. The more that you act gluttonous, and the more that you fill your face, the less that food means. And food isn't supposed to be something that you enjoy and that provides you huge amounts of comfort. And it's not meant to be a crux, man. It's meant to be a means to an end. It's not meant to be something that's wasted.
It's meant to supply your body with the nutrients that it needs to function at the optimal kind of Zen state.
Absolutely, man. And when you eat too much, you weigh yourself down.
But do you think that there's a way of eating, a way of dieting, a way of the ketogenic diet perhaps? Do you think that would help in achieving the Zen state?
I don't think you necessarily have to attach yourself to a diet. I think the number one thing...
Not attachment, but do you think it would assist?
Well, I think it's just consciousness. At the end of the day, it boils down to recognizing how much you need and sticking to that only. So it doesn't. You don't need to eat certain foods, and you don't need to put that much thought into it, man. You just need to survive.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just asking, do you reckon it'll help? Do you think it could help that? So the way I'm coming from it is, I'm thinking perhaps if you're eating a lot of really shitty food and you're having a very unhealthy lifestyle, your body isn't getting the nutrients that it needs. You're not giving your DNA, your genetics, the fuel they need to replicate well and, replicate their cells and such and perform at the most optimal kind of level, you see. So my theory is that if we give our bodies a diet that, gets the right amount of nutrients, and it's like a computer, or, you give it the correct kind of fucking energy, fuel, and it can process at the correct speeds. I think our bodies work along the same kind of principles a little bit.
I do believe that, but I think I just wouldn't suggest that you follow a certain kind of diet. I think that as long as you just got to listen to yourself, man. If you're eating like shit and you're feeling bad, don't ignore that. It's all about listening and it's about understanding. If you've been, eating just McDonald's and you feel run down, it's because you're eating McDonald's. As soon as you recognize that, try and make yourself a delicious vegetarian curry. Try and get some nutrients into yourself.
So do you think meat is bad? Or are you vegetarian yourself? Or?
Okay, that's a completely different question. I think that...
Still the same tangent, though.
Yeah, but so personally, I have no problem with eating meat, but I just think that the way that we are eating meat as a society has become unsustainable in a sense.
No, I agree with that.
And a lot of the energy that's being put into achieving that much meat for us is being consumed. You are what you eat, and if a cow dies in a very stressful way because it was one of 10,000 cows that needed to die quickly that day, then your body's going to pick up on that, man. Whereas,
it's the energy or whatever. Yeah, I believe in that. It's like when you eat something, you kind of become it in a way, like it becomes part of you. You are what you eat, right?
Absolutely,
that's what they say.
And I think that, if you want, the ideal for me is if you want to eat meat, it's either go and hunt your own food sustainably or raise your own, have chickens, or if you've got the kind of capacity, have your own cow and have your own meat and just eat just enough, just what you can, Wouldn't that
be beautiful, though? You have your own fucking farm, you got fucking animals.
That's the goal for a lot of people, is to kind of jump off the grid and do it your way.
Dude, if you could have a farm at any place in the world, where would you like to have a farm?
In Australia.
In Australia?
Yeah. Somewhere in Melbourne, just so I could have all my friends with me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, so you want to be surrounded by your friends. Yeah, true. Do you like to surround yourself with people that have the same opinions as you, the same ideology as you?
Not necessarily. Obviously,
But you're close friends.
I'm attracted to people who are I think that's how that typically works. But
you get, you take, you lose.
Sure, but do you like to attract or talk to or communicate or be friends with people that have a kind of devil's advocate kind of demeanor? Do you know what I mean by devil's advocate?
I do. I think it's important to recognize yourself and understand who you are, and then surround yourself occasionally with people who are completely contrary to that. Because if you're too happy...
Like the Buddha, you got to adapt. You got to evolve to that chaos, right?
Absolutely, man. If you're constantly trying to put a very positive outlook on everything, which is what I'm prone to doing, when things don't work out that way, you won't understand why. And that's one of my best friend is a cynic, a complete cynic. And so once my bubbles burst, it's really reassuring to have someone explain to you, no mate, listen, the way I see it, that's not how it is. And that brings you back to earth. And with him, sometimes he's become so cynical about everything. I'll be like, mate, the world's beautiful and I've got you, you've got me. Don't stress too much.
So you can balance out each other.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good feng shui, pretty good friendship feng shui, if you ask me, man. But I find these days a lot of Melbourneians like to surround themselves with only the people that agree with their own opinions and ideology, and you get a bit of an echo chamber going on sometimes.
Yeah.
I believe those people, maybe their psyches could be helped by perhaps going up to somebody that they perceive as the devil of whatever group they identify with and having a fucking conversation, maybe. 2 minds are better than 1, 3 minds are better than 2. If we all just get together and have a bit of a reckoning, I reckon maybe we could adapt and evolve as a culture. I got a lighter, hold on.
Sorry to interrupt you, interview guys.
Not at all, brother. I have a lighter somewhere. Did I pocket your lighter? Oh, yes, no, it's right here. There you go.
Thanks, bud. Cheers.
Would you like to drop some gems to the collective unconscious of Melbourne?
On the consciousness of Melbourne?
On the collective unconscious of Melbourne, how would you like to, influence, in sense, do you have anything that you'd like to express, get off your chest to the body of Melbourne?
I would say to the body of Melbourne, hey, it's good to see you again. You're doing well. Keep up the good work. Nah, it's all going to be okay. It's all happening all at the same time. So, it's kind of hard to drop the ball and try and figure out what to say. But I would say everything's going to be okay. we're gonna be all right.
That's fucking good advice.
Yeah, that's all I can really say. I mean, you don't. How can I drop kind of huge truth bombs or anything like
truth bombs?
I don't
truth
know.
Bombs of the reckoning.
Just become aware that everything that is put in front of you is not true. That if it's on the television, it's probably not true. If it's coming out of a politician's mouth, it's not true. The world is run by bankers, the military-industrial complex.
Hence the reckoning.
Yeah, hence the reckoning.
Hence the reckoning, because this is the underground. This is the streets of Melbourne. This is the voice of the people. This is fucking.
Oh, we're aware.
Straight.
We know what's going on. We know what's going on behind the scenes, but with the shadow government and whatnot. So,
Illuminati.
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think's on top of the pyramid?
I think the Draco are.
The Draco.
Yeah.
Draco Vampire Illuminati. Yeah, brother. You want to spit some gems to the collective unconscious of Melbourne?
Yes, I'd love to. When I fart, I drink it.
Woo! Yo!
About yourself.
What's
your message to the rest of us?
Have you eaten once?
I was just talking about earlier. I was just talking.
Nice one,
yeah, of course, brother. We're gonna have a new reckoner entering the reckoning. Now the reckoning is in your hands, brother. So what we were just talking about is a lot of people in Melbourne seem to, from my own observations, I seem to see that some people have the kind of persuasion that they'd like to surround themselves in their group of friends with people that hold the same opinions as them, the same ideology as them, and they get a bit of an echo chamber kind of going on. Now, I was saying, what do you reckon? Do you reckon it'd be a good idea for some of these people perhaps to confront some of the people, maybe confront is the wrong word, but maybe approach some of the people in their lives that they perceive as the devil of their relative group? Whoever that group is, if you identify more with a group than as an individual, that group has a collective devil. Everyone does, so if you see these people as your devil and you don't know them, my advice to you, fellow reckoners out there, if you are down with a reckoning, go to these people and fucking talk to them like a brother and try to empathize with the devil's advocate perspective.
Yes, they are us. They are me. They are you. The thing is,
hold the mic.
Yeah, the thing is, they perhaps are just so consumed by their fear. I think maybe they're afraid of losing themselves. So.
My mother always said that fear is an acronym: false evidence appearing real.
That's spot on. Your mother's very wise.
Oh shit, yeah, she is. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's definitely a big part of it, for sure. Fear of the unknown, fear of the devil, and it's like, but if you want to entertain the hero fucking archetype, you have to fucking approach that chaos, approach that devil in your life, conquer that shit, slay the dragon, fucking get the gold, save the princess. But there's other stories of the dragon, and what was it, King Arthur? Who's the guy? Yeah. There's other stories. A lot of people don't know about these versions that he actually tamed the dragon and kept it as a pet.
Oh wow! Really?
But the general theme is when you approach that devil and you approach that fucking chaos, you get the gold, and the gold is the value, the adaptation, the evolution to the unknown. You bring that back to society, and then that's how you revivify your fucking culture. Yeah, man, we're talking about the devil's advocates, bro. Do you find that you play the devil's advocate much in your social interactions? And do you know what I mean by devil's advocate?
This is very heavy. Yeah. No comment, man. To be honest.
No, it's about evidence. I guess I think it's about evidence, and it's about what you can. It's about. Oh, I guess it's a very vague what we're kind of talking about, but in the context.
I can provide specifics if you want. Like I said, if you don't know what I mean by devil's advocate, I can.
Questioning all your beliefs or whatever, doing the counter arguments.
Questioning beliefs, questioning what's put in front of you.
Essentially, yeah.
What context?
Representing the counter argument to the collective to the collective dogma, to the collective accepted norm of, whatever group you're a part of at the time that you're talking to them. Yeah. Do you feel that you do that much in your own personal social interactions?
No, I don't think I do.
Come on, Ed.
To be honest.
Hey, that's fair, man. Just be honest, man. I mean, this is what we're about at the Reckoning, man. We're creating a radical honesty group, man.
Yeah, fucking earth. Great, huh?
Do you... Do you think that perhaps if you played the devil's advocate, maybe your friends would react negatively to that, or?
Yeah, probably. They would become. They would like if you're to be the devil's advocate, it's not to say that you are siding with the devil, so to speak, to actually be one with what we're kind of symbolically referring to as the devil.
Well, it's the archetypal devil, you see, because, you know, the devil of all the societies is, you know, the anomalous motherfucker, the canary in the coal mine that just steps up and just yells the warning, you know, hypocrisy, contradiction, there's something not quite right with this logic here.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and I think those motherfuckers, I think that's a bit of some of the fucking discrimination and marginalization that's happening in our society that often doesn't get talked about. Nah. What about those motherfuckers? What about the diversity that the adversity that they face for voicing their own individual opinion and not going with the collective call just to be down with your relative groups?
Well, something that comes to mind is that the more you know, the less you say, and the less you know, the more you say.
Wisdom listens, right?
Yeah. And that, so if you're saying that you're in a group of people and we're discussing an issue, we're discussing a theory, a conspiracy theory perhaps, sure. And that, you know, certain individuals in the group would have looked into it, gone down that rabbit hole and thought, okay, there are connections here. You can trace it. And then to have the devil's advocate is just someone to bounce off, someone that you need to be able to communicate with, to be able to say, all right, well, this is what I believe in, this is what I'm going to try and explain and try and piece together the whole you know, jigsaw puzzle of it.
Get a more broader perspective.
Yeah, and you can't do that when you're with someone that's constantly agreeing with you. You need to have that someone who's there, you know. How are we going, fellas? Are we going to bounce?
Do you guys reckon Pluto is a planet? This is the vital question. This is the real fucking issues.
Pluto's a planet!
Fuck yeah! Yeah, Pluto's a planet? Really? Okay, fuck yeah, that's right. Motherfuckers, Pluto's a planet. It always was. Stop marginalizing Pluto.
It was a moon.
It's sexist and racist.
It's smaller than a moon.
It's smaller than a moon. I heard it was a moon on Saturn.
There's lots of Plutos out there, though. That's the problem with Pluto. They've discovered hundreds of them.
Man, it's a quarter the size of the moon. It's really fucking tiny.
They can't all be planets, mate. You can't have hundreds of Plutos out there. What are we going to name them? We're going to run out of ideas. You can't teach out of
I love you for being a devil's advocate. Can I just give you a hug? It's the fucking devil's advocate. I love the devil. I love the devil's advocate, man. I'm not a Satanist, but I do love the devil.
We're all Satan, and we're all God.
The archetypal Satan. I identify with those motherfuckers, the outsiders that want to represent the fucking outside perspective and maybe want to perhaps trigger some sensitive motherfuckers that just can't deal with the anomalous motherfuckers in front of them.
That's good, man. It's good work you're doing.
But a lot of people, they'll probably just see me as just some kind of fucking guy trying to be like, oh, you're just trying to shit stir, you're just trying to be edgy, you're like a huge ego, and you're just doing this to fucking, you know, masturbate your ego on top of the clitoral mic. You can't blame me, ladies and gentlemen. It's fucking fluffy, okay? It tempted me.
Sensual.
The devil's sensual, fluffy clitoral mic. Now, okay, guys, hypothetically speaking, if Pluto was a planet, and you happen to bump into a Plutonian alien in the streets of Melbourne, feng shuiing in a corridor, and he could speak English, how would you like to talk to him? How would you like to represent for humanity? What would you say?
What would we say to a Plutonian? I'd say the same thing I'd say to a Martian. Welcome. Do you want to smoke it? Do you have lungs? I don't know. It's a kind of funny thing. It's like everyone thinks that life on this planet is going to be the same on other planets. But then you got to kind of, I don't know, either expand it or reduce it down to like...
We can only relate it to what we know.
Yeah. You know, who knows if they're on the same frequency as we are, you know? They may be standing right around us, but we just can't see them, can't hear them.
Maybe they're already here. Maybe
they're underground.
Maybe the Plutonians have infiltrated our society. What do you reckon?
Maybe potentially. Like, at this point, anything's possible, mate. And it's all starting to seem very sci-fi.
Could I just say what you just said? Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I just want to say this. spoken like a true Plutonian. And, you do have blue eyes, and
maybe I'm a Plutonian.
well, that's what I'm thinking. But at the same time, you know, like I realize this is a possibility. You know, we're being shticky, but what the fuck do I know, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. But you know, if there are aliens out there and you have infiltrated our society, I'm fucking down for an interview, brother. Really, honestly, if you want to reveal yourself to me.
I think we're ready. We're ready for the disclosure. We're ready to.
So?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think we weren't ready a long time ago. But time is speeding up, and I think as time speeds up, we become more and more aware, and just become like.
Time's speeding up.
Time's speeding up. I
Holy
think
shit.
days are gone. Days are coming and going.
Hey, no, I feel that sometimes, man. Sometimes life's moving really fast lately. This year has gone.
Stuff to remember.
Yeah, and like when you're doing a lot of stuff more, shit moves quickly. When you're creating stuff, when you're making things, you get a real idea of time. It's like, holy shit, I've done this and it's been 3 months. You know, like I've been.
That's why when you're a little kid, everything just feels so infinite, and like you don't worry about time as a kid. But then you lose that when you become an adult because more shit's put on you.
Maybe if we get in that Zen state, brother, you know, we can fucking feng shui like the Buddha.
Like the Buddha.
Like the fucking Buddha, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, do you reckon the Buddha had it right, man? He had some pretty strong feng shui.
Yeah, I like what Buddha had to say, I think.
It was a forerunner.
He was a bit of a devil's advocate.
But I think, yeah, definitely. I think everyone has the capacity to be a Buddha, I think. And I think that's what the story of Buddha's about. Everyone's a Buddha. It's just about...
enlightenment.
Yeah, totally. You've already got enlightenment, you just don't know.
All the answers are within.
Well, I think that there is man and then there is Buddha, and it's the decisions you make that separate the two. It's if you're happy to drink and smoke and alter yourself in those kinds of ways, then you're not the Buddha, you're a man.
Personal responsibility, I love it.
But a person who denies themselves everything and, you know, controls their consciousness into a sense, or at least can say no to themselves. That's the first step to becoming a Buddha.
They have the strong enough will to be able to tame that, you know, and say like, yes, that's me, but you know, like my will is stronger than that, and I have the choice. Like you said, choice. It all comes down to choice, man. Like fucking Neo at the end of fucking Mayday.
You made that choice to take that pill.
Fucking Smith is losing his shit, right? He's like, why do you persist? And he's just like, because I choose to. And it just fucks his shit up. Fuck like a fucking ninja fucking Power Ranger from the future. Do you guys reckon the Power Rangers had it right in the sense that their power came from unity and friendship?
Whoa, that is so spot on.
I think you're right on there, man.
Yeah.
Together we are strong.
That is true.
Look, I think we have to head off, man.
Yeah,
This
no
has been,
worries.
what's your name?
Basil.
Pleasure.
Do you have some final thoughts that you like to drop to the collective unconscious of Melbourne?
I think we should give a shout out. Fucking check out the Mother Gurus, alright? That's
a band?
Yeah, it's a little self-promotion.
Yeah, the plug, I love it. So like, what are they called? The Mother Goons?
Yeah, the Mother Gurus.
The Mother Gurus, I fucking love it. I just thought of a name for a band the other day. What do you guys think about this for a name of a band? Swine Pearl.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you like it?
Well, it's like dirty and clean at the same time.
Swine Pearl.
Yeah.
I'm imploding, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just imploding. Oh, I'm just a fucking chopped poppy. A chopped poppy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. I fucking love you, Jim. Stay classy, Melbourne. Fuck is up, Melbourne? Live and direct the streets of Melbourne. Comedy from the icy tundra. Comedy live and direct from a spaceship. Just coming to you from Stratus. Coming to you, ladies and gentlemen. We're transmitting from the Voodoo Satellite of Love here at The Reckoning. We're at a local Melbourne bar. What's this bar called?
This is the Evelyn Hotel.
Representing of the Evelyn, motherfuckers. So get it down. Now, we're here with Old Man. He's going to drop a few gems for us. What have you been reckoning about lately, brother? Like, what's been prominent in your mind?
Well,
let's see. I've been out skateboarding.
Our skateboard too.
I've been, doing stuff.
Do you think your feng shui is on point tonight?
Is my feng shui?
Yeah, your feng shui. Do you think you have like a nice balanced kind of zen in your mind state?
I don't know, not really, no. I went for a skate and it really wasn't happening.
But you felt that before in your life, right? Though, that kind of zen, balanced kind of state.
Yeah.
What do you reckon helps kind of get you there, man? Do you have some kind of ritual or what kind of
Not
tactics?
really. It's, I don't think about the stars all that often, but you know, I do have my highs and lows, and they come and go, and it's a bit of a mystery, really.
It's a bit of a mystery. Okay. So would you say that your life and your emotions are maybe guided by unknown forces to you, maybe unconscious to you?
Well, I'm a deep believer that, we are eukaryote beings, which is like a secondary type of advanced being from the prokaryotes.
Procariot, sorry, what's that?
The prokaryotes were when the world first evolved. It was like a bubbling pool of lava, and bacteria were the first ones to colonize life on Earth. And that bacteria, they are the prokaryotes, and they are ancient.
So, like, this is the first form of life on the Earth? Complex?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. Well, as far as I know.
Yeah. Procariot, is that what that means? Procariot.
Prokaryote. So the first cells, like single cell beings. So you've got the three types. You've got the rod, you've got the curly type, and then you've got the round type.
You realise that this podcast is now going to be called The Reckoning of the Round Type
Procariot.
Procariot.
Yep.
The Reckoning of the Round Type Procariot.
Okay, so here's my theory. It's, these bacteria have to get a way of travelling around, and they are our life force in some way. Like, they live in our guts, and we cannot live without them.
We are half bacteria. You know that? We're like half foreign bodies. Were you aware of that? We're half bacteria. I didn't know that. Yeah, man. We're like half bacteria. Yeah, bro. Please.
I was just gonna
Oh, you're later. Okay.
Sorry. Take care.
Would you like to drop some gems to the collective unconscious of Melbourne?
Alright, let's do it. Hit me some.
Do you reckon Pluto is a planet?
I reckon.
So if you happen to meet a Plutonian, feng shuiing in the corridor of Melbourne, and he could speak English, what would you say to him?
I don't know. Ask him his opinions on the whole planet business.
The planet business?
Yeah. The planet business. Yeah.
What kind of governments they have?
Yeah, exactly. Is it democracy?
What do you reckon would be the Plutonian government?
Monarchy all the way.
Not a plutocracy?
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't reckon.
Why do you reckon that?
Too obvious.
Too obvious.
Yeah.
Do you reckon Pluto's not very obvious? He's a bit anomalous?
I reckon.
Yeah, I'd agree with that,
I mean,
man.
there's all this ambiguity about whether or not it's a planet.
Do you feel you're a bit anomalous, or do you think you're a bit do you identify more with the individual or the group identity?
Probably individual, I reckon.
Do you play the devil's advocate much?
Not really, no.
Never?
I don't think so, no.
Do you know what I mean by devil's advocate?
Give me some context.
So you don't know what I mean?
In this context now?
What do you mean by devil's advocate?
I don't know, it depends.
Personally, your own personal definition.
Fuck. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank now.
Well, you just said, didn't you?
Yeah, but I guess...
So you don't know what you mean when you say devil's advocate?
I guess you're right.
Would you say that you're a very agreeable person?
I can be, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Do you think that you're disagreeing with me because you want me to like you?
Maybe subconsciously.
Well, that would go in with not playing devil's advocate much. I'll define a devil's advocate. The devil's advocate is the person that represents the contradiction to the norm, the other perspective, the counter perspective to the dogma of the group, the collective cool. You know, do you do that much in your social interactions personally?
From time to time. I wouldn't say all the time, but you know, I can definitely see it happen.
Do you often get a negative reaction when you be more of a devil's advocate to your group?
Sometimes, yeah. I reckon. Yeah.
Why do you reckon that is?
I mean, you're in disagreements with the group, you know? Pack mentality and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, right. Hive mind, right?
Yeah.
Do you reckon the Borg assimilation is happening in Melbourne? Like everyone's thinking the same, acting the same, talking the same, walking the same, thinking the same. You know, I mean, like personally, I want to represent for John Cleese with a silly walk, but that's just me. You know, I'm a bit different. But yeah, I'm wondering your perspectives. Do you think the assimilation is happening?
Not necessarily. I mean, it could be less obvious than what I'm seeing. You know?
It's true.
Yeah.
Would you like to stroke the fairy mic?
I would.
Do you have some final thoughts that you like to drop to the collective unconscious in Melbourne? Perhaps, just imagine this, hypothetically speaking, Xinjiang Hu lives in Tibet, right? And he doesn't get a podcast. He lives in a monastery. It's quite an oppressive environment. And he's never heard a podcast before. But his old mate, stepbrother from Idaho, came by and he's like, yo, motherfucker, check this. And he gives this podcast to him. This is the first podcast he's ever listened to. How would you like to influence him? How would you like to... Hypothetically speaking, if you influenced his psyche and he had a dream about you, how would you be representing in that dream? Like, what do you reckon that dream would be about?
I'd probably just be asking him how he's related to some cunt in Idaho. Like, you know, he's a Tibetan monk. Like, what's the connection there between Tibetan monks and Idaho? So is there many Tibetan monks in Idaho?
So you walk up to him and ask him that?
Yeah.
Are you just yourself, or are you like something else?
Myself, I reckon.
Okay. And what do you reckon he would say?
I don't know. I'd like to hear what he has to say. I want to know the connection between the Tibetan monk and Idaho.
That's what I want to know as well, man. Dude, if you could like feng shui at any point in the world, where would you like to feng shui at?
Well, Idaho now.
Yeah, like you're like balanced, you're in the lotus position. Think Jim Carrey.
Fuck, Idaho now. I got Idaho on the brain.
Idaho?
Yeah, I reckon. Alright.
So, what's the name of this podcast? The round type, what's the word?
The procariot.
Procariot. The Reckoning of the Round Type Procariot from Idaho. Yeah, cool. Alright, that's the name of the podcast. It's a pleasure, guys. Check us out on YouTube.
Sounds good.
The Reckoning.
Sounds good.
Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
So I think those round ones are the cocci bacteria.
The cocci bacteria?
Yeah.
The cocci? What's the cocci?
Well, I don't know too much about them, but they're the ones that, you know, in time will
take over.
You know.
The assimilation. The Borg. Are they the Borg bacteria?
Well...
Damn, we're being so grandiloquent, aren't we? With our big words here. Do you know what grandiloquent is? Using long and complicated words in conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, back to your original question.
Grandiloquent is when you use long and complicated words in conversations. Like genticulate to eat breakfast.
So yeah,
groak.
Yes, certainly.
Do you know what that means? Groak.
Groak. Not exactly.
To stare longingly at another person's food or beverage.
Oh, okay. To groak. Okay. I've learned something today. I've done my job.
So, do you feel feng shui tonight? Like you've got a bit about... Oh no, I already asked that shit, didn't I?
Yeah, no.
So like, what do you do to achieve that state? Yeah.
So, given that sort of lengthy backdrop to what I was saying, you know, half bacteria, I think they have a certain persuasion into actually how we live our lives.
Oh, do you think the bacteria is influencing our psyches?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd happen to agree with that, man. Like we were talking about earlier tonight, can diet affect the way you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
How do you reckon diet can influence your personality and the way you see the world?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
Jim Carrey reckons the ketogenic diet is pretty good. You know about the ketogenic diet? No. A lot of natural stuff, a lot of fats, a lot of oils, you know, stuff like that. Not a lot of processed stuff, you know.
You know, ultimately the bottom line is we're sort of at the mercy of our hormones and the bacteria in our guts, and they make a lot of.
It's about half-half though, isn't it? We're half bacteria, so we're half human, half bacteria.
Yeah. So I
So
sort
there's a
of
balance.
So I sort of feel like I'm in control of my my feelings, my thoughts, but you know, there's a lot of other stuff going on that that might determine that as well.
What do you reckon is going on with the consciousness of this little bacteria, man? I mean, like, he's doing his thing, he's working in the whole, he's working for the whole of the better of the group,
Yep.
you know? How does he know to do that? How does everything, like, just work?
Well, it's a matter of surviving and thriving.
Darwin had it right, didn't he? Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
My soul is thriving from this food and lysing, enticing, like icing. I'm dicing, splicing, and into the genes into two. Glue them back together with super glue. I play through, back in reverse. I put my hex and my curse. I cast my spell and chant, but in this world that I resurrect, retraject my soul in effect. I got vital strikes and iron bites. I got the bites. I got the divine vinyl of grace back to cyberspace. Out with the lightning strike sharks in my bite and the stars in your eyes will ignite like fireflies, hidden in disguise, trapped in the devil's eyes, in the layers of lies, in the witch's cave, and it's wicked and moving like a wave, and
wicked when I'm spitting and spinning and riven. The motherfuckers want me on Ritalin. I'm fucking like super glue, but who are you with the voodoo that you do that I do with the 2, 2, 3, 4? When I 5, 6 is when I rhyme quick. When I 7, 8, I never pretend or fake. When I 9, 10, I rhyme, and I'm no hen or cock. I'm not gonna click and cluck. I bark at a cock, talking like he's more than less, more or less. When I get exposed to the witness of Melbourne, I like to spit fresh Windex, and all day, motherfucker, got my wine, got my mulled wine, grapefruit. I want to break through with the truth.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with all that,
brother. On the topic of the objectivity of offence, seems to me that there's a lot of culture in Melbourne these days that seem to think there's the objectivity to offence. For instance, you go on a train, it says no offensive language. Like, offensive to who? And my idea would be, my question to you is, do you believe that offence is objective, or each individual has a subjective reckoning about what they are offended of? Do you think offence is objective or subjective? Don't know.
Well, I take it on my own terms. It's no, it's definitely objective.
It's your own perception, isn't it? So it's subjective. Wait, object, like it's your own perception. So it's subjective, isn't it?
Well, that's what I reckon. I'm asking you. What do you reckon?
No. Certainly for me, it's subjective. But you got to broaden it out to the larger population, and then it becomes objective. Because
what do you think is a objective offence?
all the bad shit in life, really.
The bad shit.
Yeah.
Isn't good and bad subjective though, man?
Yeah.
Like some people, if they want to play the devil's advocate to me, I'd see that as a positive. Some people see it a bit straining.
But you know, violence.
Violence?
Violence.
You don't think violence could ever be a positive?
Really? Yeah. I haven't found that it's ever been positive in,
What about Nazi Germany? That shit had to be stopped, didn't it? Can't sing Kumbaya with Hitler, right? I mean,
but
is violence not justified in stopping authoritarian regimes that want to fucking choke out the freedom of the world?
But that is violence.
Exactly. I'm asking you, do you think that's justified in tearing down totalitarian regimes?
Violence to take down violence?
Well, not, in the sense of violence to take down authoritarian regimes in the sense of it's violence used with protection, to protect. Yeah, what's up, brother?
Lighter, please.
I don't actually have a lighter, I'm sorry.
You don't have lighter?
No, I'm sorry.
What is this?
We're doing a podcast. Would you like to drop some gems to the collective unconscious of Melbourne?
No. What is this?
You don't need to touch it. It's like a smart. You don't need to touch it. It's okay. You can speak into it if you like. Do you think Pluto's a planet?
I say, I speak to be good people, good person. Yes. Give to people good. To be good people, every time you see people, respect people, and good, give good things. Yeah, if you can. If you don't can, I say no. Sorry, just if can.
But is good to you different to somebody else? Maybe good to somebody else is different.
No, because if you're good person, give good things for people.
Yes, good, right? Good to you, yeah? Do you realize that somebody else
for everybody,
something else, somebody else think good something different to what you think is good? Were you aware of that?
Because
so what do you think is good?
I think is because first time we are human.
Yes.
And second time, we are coming outside for good time,
Yeah, that's right.
If you sitting with people, for good time, drinking and say good things, and something you don't know.
Subjective.
Something you don't know. You're some person is know something. Is don't know.
It's subjective, but it's collective.
And learn from people but we are human.
Yeah.
To be good with human. We are care about animal, but we are human. First time human. After animal.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. This my I am thinking.
Essentially,
right on,
be
man.
nice.
Right on.
Be nice. Be pleasant. Be polite. Be assimilated.
No. It's deeper than that.
You think it's deeper than that?
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you agree that certain groups in Melbourne have a bit of an echo chamber going on where they think is good and polite is just agreeing with everything they agree with and going along with the social cool? Do you notice that going on?
Yeah, I do.
Not much devil's advocate?
Yeah, no, I do understand that, but
Look, spend money for good things.
Yes.
Yeah? You spend money? No. But if you speak with people hello, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
You give person good things, just the person you say hello in a happy.
Yes.
If you get happiness with people, it's very big things.
But bro, what makes me happy is
money.
different.
Bro. Just say hello, hi.
Bro, what makes you happy is different than what makes me happy.
Yeah, but
it's all subjective. You realize what I mean by subjective?
like I say, I don't know because I don't know very good. I'm not speak very well English. Speak little bit, yeah. Then I say if I see people, I say hello, how are you?
Hello.
How's your night?
Yeah.
These things, and if he responds, like I say, hello, hi, how are you?
You say goodbye, but I say
I'm not say
hello.
goodbye. Just I say hello, hi, how are you?
Hello,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah.
Hi, hello.
And it's about connection. It's about relaying an understanding of.
If somebody don't speak very well English, what do you want to do?
Well, you're still talking. You're still talking.
Just I say hello.
I speak good English, but after a few of these, I don't speak at all.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes it can assist.
Change these things.
Yeah.
Change. But
Change.
if you're not doing this, speak from here.
Nah. Yeah.
He just pointed to the heart, ladies and gentlemen.
Speak from here.
Yes.
It's different. If you're not doing this, you speak from here.
Absolutely.
If you drink it, you speak from here.
Inhibit the ego.
This one is different. Is honest. Is clean.
Yeah. It's about being honest and
Sorry,
for sure.
I'm drunk.
No.
Forgive me.
You're speaking good words that I can't speak.
There's nothing to be forgiven.
Good. Mine is not very good. Yeah. I have lots of things to tell, but too hard for me to tell.
Do you think that Pluto is a planet?
What?
Pluto. You know Pluto?
What is this?
You know planet?
Planet. What's planet?
Planet is like Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Neptune.
This education people thinking. I don't have education. Just like
Okay, I think obviously.
Describe a planet. Would you be able to describe a planet?
So it's part of our solar system. We have a few big.
Solar is give electricity.
They're revolving around the sun. We have.
No, it gives electricity.
Yeah, the sun gives electricity.
I understand.
Yeah, so we have Mercury and Venus and Earth.
Give money.
And they're spiraling around the sun.
Give me money.
Money from Pluto, ladies and gentlemen. So represent the record.
I think.
Listen, I know small guys, and don't think of money. Think about reality. What's the reality?
That's right.
What is the reality? That is the question.
Reality is honest person, like give to people love, and don't do bad things. And
what do you mean by love?
love is life.
Love is life.
Wow, well said. Yeah.
Life is love.
Yeah.
Love is life.
That's deep. It's deep.
This I think, I don't know, maybe people say to me, you're wrong, but I'm not wrong, because love is life.
Just what you reckon.
If you know love, no life, why people living?
Yes.
If you know love.
All right.
Well, they're not living, are they? You got to have love to live, right?
Yeah. Look, I'm from here, but long time I come not from here.
Where are you from, brother?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. Wow. What was it like over there? Hard life.
Yeah, hard.
Yeah.
Who make?
Sorry.
Who make hard life?
Who make hard life? Well, it's a choice, isn't it? You know, like how you approach life.
I say I come from Afghanistan. It's hard. You say hard life, yes?
Yes.
Well, this is my own bias.
Hard life for me.
Well, my own bias. You know, it seems like it's a very hard place to live, right? Or maybe I'm wrong.
Have you been to Afghanistan?
No, I haven't.
Okay, sure. So are you relying on what media to determine that, or?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I realize it's completely biased perspective, but I'm wondering about your perspective.
Everybody in the world, same people.
Beg your pardon?
Everybody in the world is same people.
We're all
Same
humans.
people, yeah, that's right. But Afghanistan is quite, it's quite incredible. It has more grain than...
What is this? More grain?
We rely on wheat to grow bread.
It's true.
But my English not very good.
Oh, yeah. You know wheat, flour to make bread?
Yeah. Gandum. I say gandum.
Afghanistan has many different types of grain.
It's not about this.
Yeah. But
it's not about this.
Too complicated.
Yeah, I know.
I'm living here for 17 years.
Do you think that aliens are real?
What's going on, eh?
Do you think that aliens are real?
What's
alien? Like people from other planets. People not from Earth.
Not from Earth?
Not from Earth.
What?
From outer space. From.
Do you believe there are aliens?
No.
No, you don't believe? Why do you think that?
Because people make this alien.
They make it?
I think it's a technology, computerized. I know Alien. A long time ago, I watched Alien movie.
Ah, yes.
So
if aliens were real,
what would you say to them? I'm interested with the movie because I watch lots of good movie. Like, for example, Lawrence of Arabia, for example.
It's a good movie.
And Weir's Eagle Deer, and Line of Desert, Guns of Neuron, Wandrian Express, Hunchback, Anthony Quinn.
Ah, the Hunchback.
Anthony Quinn. Oh, mine is a good movie.
Romeo and Juliet.
What?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, it's romantic, like a love. Love doesn't work.
Love doesn't work.
Money.
Yeah.
Money work.
Money work, but love doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, that's the basis to Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. It's the Capulets and
Romeo and Juliet.
The fucking Wackulets.
Like a love story things, but love now. Love need money.
Love needs money.
Yeah. If you don't have money, no one loves you.
Hey, but you can give your love away for free.
Sorry?
You can give your love away for free.
For free?
For free.
Who give me?
I'm giving you love right now for free, brother. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. I'll give you for free too.
Love and hugs to the reckoning, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, I'm going to play some food.
Yeah, please.
And, nice to talk to you guys.
Check us out on YouTube. The Reckoning.
Look,
you're a very good man.
Thank you. Look, everybody's smart, fucking stupid. You understand? If you're a good person, everybody loves you.
Yeah, that's right. Hey.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? If you just be good, say what you know is safe to say what you think is. No, hold on. I haven't finished my point yet. If you say what you know is generally going to get a good reaction from people, yes, you'll generally get a lot of acceptance. You'll be down, you know. But if you play the devil's advocate, if you step outside of the box a little bit, you're not going to get that love. You're not going to get that acceptance from a lot of people. Some people are open to that. Some people aren't. And I'm trying to understand, what makes people more open to the anomalous, to the chaos in life, and what makes people more dogmatic and want to stay in the same ideology and only surround themselves with mirror reflections of their fake self.
I think you really need to I suppose absorb your thoughts into your local community and the people that you know, and don't think about the global sense.
The global sense? This is a microcosm, isn't it? I think these issues that we're facing, they are archetypes, and they're talked about through the thousands of years of human evolution, man.
Yes.
Nietzsche was talking about the same shit going on different fucking eons.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the term, think global, act local?
Yes.
It's like, create your own good community, and
that's what I'm trying to do with the reckoning.
That's what we're, yeah.
I'm trying to create a community where people are okay to have outside of the box perspectives. It's okay to be devil's advocates to each other, because I believe that's how we actually adapt and evolve as a culture. That's how you revivify the culture. Yes. Because if you get too much of the same, you get too dogmatic, you run the fucking culture off a cliff. That's what I reckon. Because you don't become aware to what's outside of the dogma.
So as a... what would your devil advocate position be in regards to, for example, immigration, asylum seekers?
The devil's advocate to what perspective?
Oh, so
that we should bring them all here, open gates for all of them?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
For example, in Europe...
A devil's advocate position to that would be, I've seen a lot of research that would suggest that it is more beneficial for all the people involved and less expensive and more of a long-term solution to fix the problems at the countries where they are, than to spend a lot more money and a lot more danger and a lot more risk involved to move these people to another country and assimilate them into that culture, especially if there's a lot of cultural differences between those two cultures. Okay. That would be the devil's advocate position to that. Now, I'm not saying I believe either or.
Yeah.
I'm not about absolutes as well. I'm all about just reckonings. But I think if we weigh both the perspectives, we get a more broader perspective and we'll be able to act more accordingly. Yeah?
Okay. Well, I suppose my understanding of that is that people think in different boxes, and your perspective of thinking outside the box is actually, different. So you're thinking of outside the box, and you're actually thinking in somebody else's box.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's all boxes though. That's the thing.
But it's not out of the box.
You can't
it's
ever
into
leave
somebody else's box.
Yeah, but you can't leave the box. You see, we're like, I think I know what you're trying to say. Are you trying to say that maybe perhaps you're seeing it as more a political thing, like maybe this is the left thing to believe, this is the right thing to believe, and I'm going more in the right wing box? Is that what you mean? Or
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. It seems to be that we do kind of try to filter perspectives and ideas a lot more these days in Melbourne as either right or left. Like, for instance, I can't bring up with my flatmate who recently went vegan, and he has the, not recently, he's been vegan for a while now. I'm not saying that that's you can have a good diet being vegan, I'm sure, but it's just like each their own. Some people will work for, some people won't.
Yeah.
But my perspective was saying that because he put on a lot of weight after he turned vegan, and he had a lot of health issues, because he's putting on weight, and he's in the same meal for every meal. He has all these canned vegetables and a shit ton of tofu for every single meal that he has. Now, I told him that it's very mainstream science that certain foods mimic estrogen in the body, and if you have enough of these estrogen mimickers in the body, your body is going to produce more estrogen, and this leads to hormonal imbalances, which has a lot of health issues. He only saw that as me just having a right-wing perspective against his left-wing perspective.
Yeah.
See how that breaks down the individual's reasoning, the individual that just has a out-of-the-box perspective of out of the box of left and right, if that was a box, and thinking for himself. People like to just reduce it to a left and right issue. Do you notice that going on a lot in society?
I suppose suppose so. I mean, I don't know if people are able to access this information a lot more readily these days, and that may accentuate or accelerate the process of these people going into one side or another.
Well, that makes sense because the information, a lot of it is tilted either left or right.
Yeah.
So it would make sense.
So if you research one thing, it's like the thing you're researching is you want that answer, so that's what you get.
Confirmation bias.
You either get right or left.
But not all news, not all information, not all research has a left-right paradigm to it. You know, there is reading between the lines. You know,
That's the problem with society.
Well, I guess you have to look at it from the individual, right?
Is that it's all, when you research something, it's coming from a particular perspective.
Yeah.
And that perspective is usually driven by corporations and a particular ideal that wants to sell their product.
No, that happens. I totally agree with that. Hence the reckoning. I'm trying to get the most diverse perspective I can.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
So, like the last speaker was saying, your job is sort of, as a human, to trying to embrace culture and make it better for society.
Revivify the culture, yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Revivify the culture, what would you say?
Revivify.
Revivify, like breathe the life back into. Because the culture is dead. The culture is what we are handed by our ancestors, and they're dead.
Yeah.
We're the ones with it now, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to be constantly revivified, or otherwise I think it descends into chaos.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
Would you like to have a little bit of a break, a little bit of an interlude?
Sure.
I'm gonna roll a smoke. I have a little bit of a headache as well, so I'm gonna take some iodine and drink some water and balance out my feng shui.
I tried out some iodine recently when I was coming. I was, about to have a cold, and my dad was like, "Have some iodine.
Yeah.
Check this out." So yeah.
Do you feel that iodine makes you a bit more sharp, like mentally?
It was an experimental process for myself because I'd never really gone through that before. But I didn't break out in a total flu, so I'm pretty happy.
Final thoughts to drop to the collective unconscious of Melbourne.
Yes.
How would you like to, final drops of gems to influence the collective psyches of the Melbournians and the world?
Keep creating, keep believing, keep receiving. That's how you perceive, what you get. Everything is like a cycle of creation and destruction. Everything and nothing. Every creation and destruction. Everything and nothing. So all reality is yin and yang. It's balance. It's life and death. It's the cycle of the eternal cycle, like the Dharma wheel. It's like the ocean. It's infinitely flowing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you, sir?
Just be kind.
Be kind. It's good. It's good overall, man. I think a lot of the problems that we face in society will fix themselves if the individuals in the society be kind and they work on themselves and they work to become a better person, to be kind, like actual kindness, not niceness, because I think niceness is just the appearance of kindness.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do the actions, not just the words.
Yeah, niceness is superficial. And
actions speak louder than words.
Niceness resolves in cancer.
What about that's true? Niceness is cancer. Body language is everything. The way you fuck politeness.
Yes.
Sometimes. Body language is everything. The way you present yourselves is what they're getting from you. What you give, you get. Like I was saying before,
actually forgot what I was going to say.
But hey, brother, we're in with this shit. I'm gonna roll smoke, and I'm gonna see if I can get an interview with the opera singer, because she had a fucking brilliant voice. It was a pleasure, brother.
Yeah, no worries.
Check us out on YouTube. Thank you. You did more than your.
You know, it was Big Siggy, so.
It's okay.
It was quite interesting.
40 minutes. That's a good fucking.
Hopefully, you get a couple of snippets out there.
Amazing song. Does anyone have a ciggy? Because like I've run out of.
Do something of your own. Go on, do a little bit of your own.
All right, you want something of your own? Phil, what's that song that you got?
We have. Yeah, hey, brother, how's it going?
What's that new song that you got?
Yeah. I gotta say, guys, I'm low on the battery, so if you got some like final fucking
Final song?
final songs, yeah.
What song? I got my For Life song. Oh, For Life.
For
I
life.
ain't playing with this fashion, so come on, baby, come on, hit this.
Go feel.
Girl, you know that I can.
Kill it, Oos.
And so you know I ain't playing. I'm feeling this moment. The glasses we're pouring. I just want this to last forever, ever, ever. Baby, me and you is forever, ever, ever. And Peter Pan and when it turn to fun. Baby girl, just hold on and we're gonna fly. Chase all our dreams, got no worries tonight. Baby girl, it's you and me, and you and me for life.
Girl, I want you lick all night. I want you to kiss me right. That's my younger brother's verse. My nigga killed it. Hey, but it's up to you, people. It's all up to the people. And all I'm saying is like, what's your name again, bro?
Basil.
Basil?
Yo.
Basil has it going on. Make sure you listen to them, my nigga Basil. He's probably gonna be a DJ soon.
Represent.
But hey, represent Australia, straight up.
Straight up.
I fuck with this. I fuck with it.
I fuck with this
fuck
country
with it,
too,
bro.
Man. This country is a pretty good place.
It's a fucking amazing place, bro.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
A lot of people want to hate Australia, though, man. You know, but like, look around. You got.
You know why
freedom.
people hate Australia? Because it's small. We're so small, but we've got so much talent.
Yeah, that's
like America's massive.
Underappreciated talent, I'd say.
Unappreciated, bro. Straight up, bro. Straight up.
Like you guys are fucking gold on the streets of.
Bro, the only difference between us and other singers that are our culture is we've got confidence to show it, bro. That's what we are.
You're living that shit.
Yeah, man. Like,
it's real.
I really like. I love performing for people. You know, and my brother, he's a fucking gun singer, bro. I'm pretty good at G'ing people up, but that's about it, bro.
G'ing people up.
Yeah, bro. I'm a good hyper, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking, you know, like everyone needs a good hype, man.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, what's your name?
Is this thing on?
My name is Basil.
Hello.
My name is Basil.
What's up?
Yeah, we're
Carol's 26th
live and direct to the
birthday.
reckoning. We need to align the feng shui. The feng shui needs to be aligned correctly.
Maybe he was starting to sing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
With like,
Carol's 26th birthday. Oh, yeah.
So, but maybe if you want, do you want to switch seats with this guy? So you can be closer on the microphone. But like he talked a lot earlier. I'm interested in your.
Oh, alright, Rita, do you mind swapping seats? Thank you so much. Yeah.
So what the fuck is up, man? We're live and direct to the streets of Melbourne at the reckoning.
If my phone dies, my mum might call you.
That's right.
Basil,
Mum might call.
what's the name of your podcast?
So the name of the podcast is called The Reckoning because I ask people what they reckon about stuff. Yeah.
Ah, nice. There's also like
like
a
that.
possibility vibe to it, isn't there?
Well, sometimes it goes there. You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Wait, is this like...
my rap name is Ark, like archetype. Yeah.
ARCH.
ARK.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna release all my stuff with a podcast in a few weeks.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So I'm doing like a.
Later on, I can show you some of my shit.
Yeah, brilliant. You don't need to mic me as well. Okay, brilliant. So yeah.
My shit is SP, or some of it's like I've been moving into like learning Akai sampler as well. So
Akai.
But it's a whole different world. Like different tools is like different musical results, right?
Yeah, right. how do you reckon music affects your psyche? You know, like...
It depends how open you allow your psyche to be to the music at the time. So you can have the same music and be closed to it, and then at some other point be receptive to it, and suddenly it'll dive in. And it's hard to. I mean, you can't always control that.
Yeah, of course. Do you feel like you use music to get in a certain frame of mind to approach a particular, problem that you need to solve in your life?
No, so I know a lot of people that have, say if they're working out, they'll have a running piece of music that they like to run to or to lift to or whatever. But I like to do non-musical stuff in silence and then allow music to be music.
Non-musical stuff in silence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise I get distracted.
Yeah, okay. So you need to have that silence so you'd be able to hear the inspiration, perhaps.
It's more that if I'm doing something non-musical, if music comes along, it will take all of my attention away from that other basic thing.
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah, it's like if I'm doing something that requires a lot of brain power at work, I can't listen to music. But if it's sort of in between, then I can sort of balance the two out.
Okay. Do you think certain kinds of music assist that kind of cognitive functions a bit better, like some background kind of music or something like that could assist you?
Yeah, well, I know that when I'm really bored at work, I like to listen to a lot of metal.
Metal?
Yeah, it reminds me that I'm still alive. It reminds me that, it's like, screaming, pain, anguish. It's like, actually, it's not so bad. This is distracting. And so you focus on the music rather than what you're actually doing.
Bit of a defibrillator to the soul,
A little bit, yeah, exactly.
We all need that thing to revivify our kind of life in a way, Feel a bit of meaning, feel a bit of life and purpose.
Yeah, whether it's doing something reckless, or any other sort of hobby.
We're all just chasing that correct feng shui, aren't we?
Yeah.
He's feng shuiing pretty hard. It's a big beard. Big reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. Big reckoning on the streets of Melbourne. Do you guys and girls reckon Pluto is a planet? No. You don't think he is?
It's sad, but no. If it's not, it's not.
Why do you reckon that?
Because they've got specific designations, and if it doesn't fit that, it's not.
Designations of what a planet is?
Size.
Is it the size?
Yeah.
He's not big enough?
I don't even know. I trust the science.
Why does it matter that Pluto is a planet or not? Why does it matter? Horoscopes, that's why.
But horoscopes
Guys, let's stop objectifying Pluto. It's sexist and racist.
Yeah, but I think whether it's a planet or not, why does it matter to people?
Pluto matters to me.
It doesn't care.
It probably matters to Plutonians if they're there,
They're not there, are they?
Why do you reckon that?
Well, but what makes you think that Plutonians even care about what we think something's a planet?
No, I'm just interested in why you reckon what you reckon, you reckon there's no Plutonians there?
I'm more excited that there might be other planets that are out there that we haven't named yet, or that have just numbers for names.
Planet X.
We can,
With way more potential than
and
Pluto. So we should
we can
focus
share
on
the
them.
love, and get real with what is actually there rather than what we want to be there. Which is sometimes distressing, and that's part of growing up. When you discover that things are not quite what you thought as a child, you then have a bit of a teenage hissy fit, and then you get on with being adults about it, and that's what we're going to do with Pluto.
You adapt.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about Scorpio, because Scorpio's ruling planet is Pluto.
Exactly.
And what is Scorpio going to do without it? That's all.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to perceive yourself,
this is about identity. This is about this.
Do you identify with Pluto?
A little bit, yeah. It's the furthest away from the sun. It's tiny.
Do you reckon he's a bit of an outsider,
A little bit. Well, I mean, especially
cosmos?
because he's been excluded.
Yeah, he's been excluded a bit, hasn't he?
But we need him.
Yeah, but I think the most coolest people are the excluded, the rejects of society.
Fringe of society, the outliers, the people you can't really quite predict because they're not really mainstream.
That's where the magic happens.
It is. I totally agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically speaking, if Pluto was a planet, it did exist, and there was Plutonians there, and this Plutonian happened to come to Melbourne, and you happen to witness this Plutonian feng shuiing. Yeah, well, hypothetically speaking, if there was life on Pluto, and this life on Pluto happened to come to Melbourne, and you happen to witness this Plutonian, you know, like feng shuiing in a corridor of Melbourne, and he happened to speak English, how would you like to communicate with him? What would you like to say to represent for humanity?
Like, hey, what's up?
I'd like to know how they felt about their lives.
How
I'd
they
like to know
felt.
about them.
Why they reckon what they reckon?
Yeah, because how often do you have an extraterrestrial visit your Earth? I'd really like to know what their beliefs are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's me too. Me too. I want to know. I want to probe the mind of the Plutonian man.
Yeah,
I want to know what's up.
speak English. How do they communicate?
Yeah.
They must live in sub-below climates, like really cold climates.
Well,
How
that's
does
what
that
they're saying,
happen?
Yeah, right. Because it's blue. Yeah, it's meant to be cold. Yeah.
I mean, it's so far away from the sun, which means that it must be so far below zero, which means like how could they even survive on Earth? Like, is there a specific climate that their ship? For no, so many questions. Like, or carbon-based.
Plutonian questions.
Carbon-based. You know, are they silicon-based?
Where's the
That's
carbon
a
out?
very good question.
It's true. Silicon-based, you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, like
Like
silicon-based is a really interesting concept, isn't it? I mean, like,
Plutonium
what does
cyborgs.
it even look like? What would that even act like?
Our definition of life. Because in my opinion, our definition of life is quite narrow.
That's a question. If they don't fit our like definition of life, like if we decide that silicon-based is not the same as carbon-based, and therefore is not the same as carbon-based life, will we exploit that?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's human nature to
I think we
exploit.
will.
Yeah.
I think we will exploit silicon-based life if we can establish that they are not the same as carbon-based life, the same as we exploit animal life.
Some people, they like to take more than they give. They like to exploit. But at the same time, there are fucking underground Melbourne Power Rangers in our society
I mean, like
that
that-
realize that their power comes from friendship.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's really a debate.
Do you think that the Power Rangers had it right in the sense that their power came from
Are
unity
you saying Power
and
Rangers, or are
friendship?
you going to build like the Star Trek approach? I mean, like, are we going as Star Trek approach?
Star Trek approach. We can do we can do the Star Trek approach. Do you believe the Borg assimilation is happening in Melbourne?
I was more saying with the Star
simulation?
Trek, the Borg simulation,
Borg.
which is like the hive mind. It's more saying that the Borg simulation is a hive mind group that they assimilate all these people into this one mindset that is quite
Uniform.
uniform and quite violent in terms of getting people on board. But
You like uniform?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
Well, it stops me worrying about like having to like impress anyone.
See, I hate uniforms.
Like,
I just hate being told what to wear.
See, I think
That's
they
it.
Yeah.
I don't need deeper reasons.
yeah, it's like you don't have to think about that sort of like outer layer, and you can just concentrate on your inner layer. If you're
There's safety in the group.
yeah, perhaps.
Kind of the same. Your
Yeah.
and outer layer
It's
are
like the
the same.
zebras in Africa. We were about that experiment when they went to they wanted to find out what's up with the zebras' camouflage. Were you aware about this?
You mean the dazzle camouflage? Like
The zebra cat camouflage.
yeah, because like it's meant to dazzle the eyes of the people. That
Exactly. Well, exactly. They went to study them, and they had trouble studying the individual zebras because they found out that when they all move together, you lose track of the one that you're trying to study. So they put a little red paint on the arse of the one that they were trying to study, and as soon as that zebra was identifiable, he got taken out by the lions. He's starting to get taken out by the lions. So that's a bit of a metaphor of what we do as a society. You know, there's safety in the group. If you want to step up as an individual, then you are more easily be able to be targeted by the lions of your society.
I don't know how relevant this is, but have you seen the video of the zebra that drowns the lion?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I know you've seen it. We made a song about it. It was very dumb.
You made a song?
It was very dumb.
What was it called?
I believe it was called...
I can't remember.
No, I don't remember. I remember the song before. It was called Lucy Lou.
Can you remember how it goes?
No, honestly. I remember the conversation being about how awesome this fucking zebra was that drowned a lion that was trying to eat it. But
Pretty fucking soldier
oh,
zebra.
it's so cool.
It's a very zebra-centric view of that whole occasion.
I mean, it almost killed a lion, which is pretty cool.
Considering
Considering it was a
zebra.
zebra.
Yeah.
And there are like some hungry cubs out there, like, you know.
Prey kills.
Do you guys and girls feel like you play the devil's advocate much in your social interactions? And do you know what I mean by devil's advocate?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Do you play that much in your... No, you don't?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look, I play to expand your horizons. You have to.
You have to, like, you challenge ideas. Like.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna say here, like, what do you mean by devil's advocate? Like, do you
So
mean
let me
someone who-
provide some context then. So what I mean when I say devil's advocate, the devil's advocate is the person that represents the counter argument to the collective call, to the collective
Alright,
vibe
is
of
the
the group.
counter argument the consensus argument? I mean, like, is it the argument that, like...
Whatever your argument is, it's the opposite.
Okay.
You think that person's full of shit? Why do you reckon that?
Okay, occasionally they are onto something, but usually they're just like, oh, well, no one's thought of this. And it's like, well, that's because it's dumb. And then you put them down, and that's
I reckon the drink bottles
that's
would
the main reason
The
for being
drink
devil's
bottles
advocate.
would think differently.
Shut up about the drink bottles. Okay, that's not for the podcast people.
No, but they've got to understand this.
Why?
Everybody's got to understand the drink bottles.
Why do you like to put them down?
Because a lot of people think they're smart.
Okay,
Sorry,
here's
so was
a
that?
question. Here's a question. Is your devil's advocate the social norm? Or is it a different opinion? Because if the devil's advocate is a
It can be
social norm,
either.
like... I'm sorry, I tend to yell when I'm
I
drunk.
just have a little bit of a headache, so I'm sorry.
Oh, so sorry.
It's okay. But please continue.
Okay, so if your devil's advocate is a social norm, how relevant is their argument? Because, I mean, let's say that your devil's advocate...
So if the devil's advocate is a social norm,
Okay, so
seems like a bit of a paradox. I'm trying to understand what you mean by that. Was
Okay,
that what you meant?
let's have a look at misogyny, okay? Because that is a pretty typical way the devil's advocate is pursued. Let's say your devil's advocate is saying it is fine to harass a girl in the street because it is their right to harass a girl in the street, whether that is to say that she should smile more or she should talk to them even though she is uncomfortable, that kind of thing. That is a devil's advocate that I have met a lot. And that is a social norm that I have seen presented to me as being something that I should accept. It is not acceptable that I should accept harassment, and I don't think it is in any way.
Isn't that subjective though? Harassment?
Okay,
It totally is. If you're into a guy, then it's not harassment.
There
It's
you go.
a form of flattery.
Okay, but to be completely fair, like, if you're going up to a girl in the street and she starts to be uncomfortable and you push it, you're a fucking cunt, like, to be front.
Sorry.
Like, if
Could I just...
this girl...
hold on, one moment. Could I get you to read what's on my bag here? Sorry. Hold on.
Alright.
Alright, what, Can you read that? Can you read that? What does that say?
Cunt, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why I have that?
Why?
Because to some people, I am a fucking cunt.
Why?
But to some people, I'm a brother. It's trying to highlight the subjectivity of people seeing that some people are cunts,
All right, but
some
I
people
mean,
think
like,
they're
can
not
you
cunts.
read body
Subjectivity.
language? Can you read body language?
Can I read body language?
Because I feel like this is not I feel like this is a universal thing that I think that a lot of men ignore.
I think that's kind of subjective though, because like some people, for instance, say you had a father that always used to beat you, and he always used to scratch his chin before he beat you. You have this in your psyche that when people scratch their chin, you feel a bit of a subconscious tension. And that's not going to be the same to somebody else. They're going to see that body language as something completely different.
You know what? That's very different from something that is a one-person thing, because I think that, you know, the man who beats you, who scratches your chin before he hits you, is very different from the several hundred men who do the same action to you again and again and again on the street. And I think that is a more societal
Going
thing.
back to the misogyny thing.
We are going back to the misogyny thing because that is where my point
Do you think that men are evil?
No, I don't. You know, and I don't think
Do you
that's
think
a
that women
fair
are better than men?
No, I don't think that's a fair question either. I think that is.
I think I'm being unfair.
Stop twisting her words.
I'm not twisting her. I'm asking her questions. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but I think they're unfair.
I'm not saying that she's saying these things. I'm just asking questions.
Implying I am though, which I don't appreciate.
What do you mean by the word evil?
Yeah, what do you
also
mean by
subjective.
It's called satire, ladies and gentlemen. I like to take the piss.
I feel like
Oh, I have a really bad headache right now.
Oh yeah, that's a great excuse. But
What do you think that is an excuse for?
I think that's an excuse for you asking like very questions that you know are really, really one-sided.
Do you think that it is a possibility that I actually do have a headache because the frequency of your voice is triggering a headache?
You know what? I think that's kind of misogynistic for you to say that my frequency of my voice is.
So am I being a misogynist? Am I being sexist now?
Yeah, I think you are.
I'm being sexist. How do you reckon I'm being sexist?
I mean, saying like the frequency of my voice.
You agree that I'm being
listen.
sexist?
So.
I think that when you say that...
I kind of regret talking to this guy.
I do stutter a bit. Sorry about that.
Apparently vocal fry...
You regret? Okay.
Apparently vocal fry...
I'm sexist, I guess, brother.
Vocal fry is a lot more identified in the female audience than it is in the male audience. Like,
what was that, sorry?
Vocal fry is a lot more identified in the in the female audience than the male audience. Say somebody, the host of... what was it? American Life has vocal fry, but nobody ever pulls him up on it. But somebody from say Invisibilia is a female, but they're just like, yeah, oh hey, no, she can't host because she's got this vocal fry. But like, you know,
no, but hold on. Wait a second. You're a female, aren't you?
am.
Okay. Your voice doesn't trigger a headache in my head.
Yeah.
So how am I being sexist? I mean, it's not a woman thing. I didn't even bring up sex.
It can be
You were
objective.
the one that brought up sex, though.
It
didn't
can
you?
be objective.
I didn't
No,
bring
for
up
sure.
any sex. I wasn't saying because you're a woman, you're giving me a headache. That would be sexist. Did I say that? Did I say that? Do you guys reckon I'm sexist as well?
No, you're not saying that, but you're implying that because the...
Why do you reckon I'm implying sexism?
Yeah, because...
What do you think I've said or done? What do you think I've said or done that would say that?
Yeah, so here it is. Like, you're talking about frequencies and pitches and headaches. Now, often we've seen women in positions of power who challenge males have been put down by saying, oh, you're shrieking at me.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, like that's an old...
I didn't bring up sex, though.
No, it doesn't matter.
You're drawing from the wellspring of environmental. I don't know if I'm going to kick through here, but yeah, but
please chastise me, man. Chastise me for my sexist male misogyny.
So it's about what's happening in the zeitgeist, and at the moment, that's
zeitgeist of Melbourne.
Yeah, it's a zeitgeist thing. It's not a thing that you're setting out to say, hey, you're a girl, and therefore I think less of you. But it's a zeitgeist. Yeah, I know that. I know that.
It doesn't matter what I say. Really.
It's the subtext.
Why do you reckon it doesn't matter?
It's the subtext of...
If you're not willing to...
There's an innate thing. Okay, so I've experienced this a number of times. The pitch of my voice impacts how much I'm paid attention to.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
It's a big deal.
And I know it's hard to understand when you're not experiencing it, but if I lower my voice, people will pay, especially men, will pay more attention to what I'm saying.
Well, I am.
100%.
I'm paying more attention. Because you're easier to listen to, because you're not talking at me.
But if I'm really focusing on it and I change the sound of my voice, people pay more attention. And that's a really hard thing to understand when you're not, when your natural voice is like,
Man, if you're having a conversation with someone, you need to be empathetic to where they're at, man. And
I think there's a little... Don't place it on the victim, though. I think
place it on the victim.
Yeah,
Who's the victim? Do you think I'm playing the victim?
No,
What do you think I'm playing the victim?
Don't say it's up to the woman to change herself in order to satisfy the audience.
Seriously? It's up to the woman to change her frequency of voice for you to respect her?
Did I say that?
You implied it heavily.
Oh, I implied that. What did I say that implied that?
You said that, I definitely respond more to a girl who lowers her voice.
I didn't mention girl. You're the one that keeps on bringing up sex. I didn't mention that shit.
Lowering voice actually does.
Did I mention that?
I don't remember that at
It's
all.
not us.
Was I bringing up sex at all?
No, not at all.
That's right. Like,
That's reality. It's reality right there.
He's meant to be.
All I said was her frequency of voice was triggering a headache in me, which was true. I mean, like, I don't want to quote Jesus here, but have I become your enemy by telling you the truth?
Apparently.
The truth is the frequency of the way that she was talking me was causing me to have a headache. Jesus, I'm not playing a victim. That's the truth. It's just the truth. Hey, have I become your enemy for telling you the truth?
Your truth is shit. You're
I guess
shit.
I'm a shit person. I'm a shit. Bye.
The truth is that she doesn't like what she says. She doesn't have to.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't have to. Goodbye.
Let's go, bros.
Hashtag wrecked at the reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? What are your thoughts?
On?
No, seriously.
Sensitive people?
Sensitive. I
Do you think Melbourne's becoming a bit more eggshell oriented?
No, I like to believe
I'm
that
the
people.
devil, Lizzie. You need to see me as the devil. And
I don't have to. I don't have to.
Brother, thank you for that. Sister, sorry, you don't need to see me as the devil because you're a free thinker and I can tell. Hey, resist the Borg assimilation, yeah? Yeah, right? Alright. You're a fucking legend. Yeah, God bless.
Telling you how to think, you think for yourself. You create your own.
Don't you think she's a free thinker, man?
Hey.
You're in a very assimilated group, I just gotta tell you.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes, but you know, they do what they do.
Yeah, that's.
They do what they can.
It's
They
human
do their
nature.
best.
It's human nature. You know.
I
But
don't hold
you
anything in that.
Me neither. But thank you for that because a lot of people would just go with the group and see me as the devil. Do you think for yourself? That's a very important and beautiful fucking thing, and I really, truly respect you for that, man.
Good luck on your podcast.
You too.
I like that you're interviewing everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night. See? Gold from the dragon. Enough said. Gold from the dragon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna interlude this as well because my headache is going fucking bad. Her fucking frequency was just like, did you get that? It was like, fuck, so judgmental, so accusatory, so fucking hateful, spiteful. And they brought up the whole sex shit. I wasn't even talking about sexes, man. Straw manning. Nah, sorry, bro. That's what they do. They straw man the fucking enemy. They straw man the perceived devil.
Sometimes people act in strange ways. I don't judge them because everyone has things they are actually fighting with. Yeah, of course, you don't judge them. But the thing is, when you judge them, it's a problem.
I don't believe we have a leader. I think there's
I'll be the leader if you want. If you want, I'll be the leader.
No, I'm the leader.
I think I'm the leader.
I'm the leader. No, you're the leader.
I'm the leader.
I think you're broken up, Faisal. I think you're broken up.
Ladies and
I don't want to see you guys ever again. Fuck off.
We're all about dysfunctional unity here at the Reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we represent on the streets of Melbourne.
Can we finish on that level? Because it's too much.
We can move to another table if you want.
Yeah, go check out those guys.
We'll wait for you guys to like.
No, we're done. We're done. We're done. Just close it out. We are done.
Okay.
We are done.
We are going to enter a new group now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to join the longer haired group. We're going to represent with curls. Multiple fractures, ladies and gentlemen. We're representing multiple fractures in 3 painkillers deep of the Reckoning.
You've already got enlightenment, you just don't know.
That's some very high motherfucker trying to bring up some story about how he lost his tooth. Yeah!
Maybe there's some...
Snow White, a freaking bitch living with 7 guys, and then nothing happens, and then she dies, and then some random guy who kisses random chicks in the forest decides to kiss her to wake up. Come on.
We represent with the furry Michael Love. Oh no, you can't ask these boys to sing Britney Spears. They are soulful.
Stop the freaking pretense, man. I've seen all shit. Nothing is new. That's it. Yeah, stop the pretense, man. Nothing is new under the sun, so fuck it. If you're bad, you're bad. If you're good, you're good. Yeah, pick a side.
What about yourself? What's your message to the rest of us?
Create your own good community, and
that's what I'm trying to do with the Reckoning.
That's what we're. Yeah.
sweaty foot?
Yes.
What's going on with your feet?
So it's sweaty.
It's the fireball. It probably is. My feet are probably.
That sweaty.
I think my feet are just sore. They're not sweaty.
Stop touching my foot.
Are your feet sweaty?
I'm sweating under the arms.
Under the arms and the feet. He's sweating all over.
What do you reckon?
I don't know. The sweat.
That foot sweat.
The sweat.
What the fuck is that, Melvin?
Have you heard about meat sweats?
Yeah. Please continue. Meat sweats.
Meat sweats are apparently a thing. You eat too much meat, you sweat like crazy. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe bad meat. A lot of processed, crappy kind of like meat is gonna fucking fuck with your feng shui.
I don't know. I don't eat meat a lot, but like apparently.
I mean, if you're eating maybe some grass-fed fucking bison, you know, from like the fucking like Everest. There's gotta be some minerals in that shit. Right?
I'm not gonna lie.
The Everest bison,
I would pay money to eat grass-fed bison from Mount Everest.
Tell me about your. I
can't burp on command. So I
Really?
No.
My stepbrother could fart on demand.
Really?
And
That's next level.
not only that, totally next level. He is on the next level of jazz consciousness. So he could fart musically on demand. So we would be waiting in the line of a bank or something like that, and I'd just hear this like. I'm like, damn, motherfucker, you just fucking killed my mind right now.
So disgusting.
I mean, I don't know whether I should be impressed or disgusted.
Okay, you will be.
I look disgusted.
You will be disgusted by this next story. He once did a shit at the counter of McDonald's. Like a ninja, covertly.
Did he think he was doing the national anthem? And
Like subtly?
No. He was just a crazy motherfucker. He just like went up to the counter, and nobody noticed him the whole time. It was a fucking ninja. He went, and people were ordering and everything, and he just slowly just like pulled out his pants, did quick little shit.
Wait, so you did
Seriously?
He did a shit, it came out in like 30 seconds, and then he pulled up his pants and walked away. Nobody noticed.
I'm gonna pass the microphone on now to my good friend Lewis. Yeah, you're gonna have a shitting story.
Oh no, he had a pooing story.
No, we don't have to talk about poo stories if you like. We can talk.
You said this was the most.
Do you rap?
thing you knew of. You got a shit story coming up right now. Go first.
Poo stories.
Yeah, go ahead. Drop some gems.
Gems? I got no.
Drop some gems to the.
Come on, Lewis. Give me a beat.
Oh, there's a beat in the background already, man. You hear that? Woo!
No.
Yeah, of course, bro. Speak from your heart.
Speak from the heart. Okay, it was. Nah, I can't right now.
Alright.
Come on.
I have another question though, bro. We can just continue on another tip. Alright. Do you guys and gal find that you play the devil's advocate position much in your conversations between your friends? Do you know what I mean by devil's advocate?
I mean, I compromise my opinion.
Okay. That is not devil's advocate. That is like
It's
the
not.
opposite. Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, so what's the difference?
Okay, so
Pretty
pretty much. It's the contrary to the dogma of the group. It's the person that brings up the contradiction to the collective cool. Perhaps like canary in the coal mine would be another kind of. Do you know what I mean by
I feel
canary
like I'm
in the coal mine?
I feel like I'm the toucan, the tiki.
Like the whistleblower throws up the signal.
No.
Warning, hypocrisy, contradictions.
He pretty much just means the contrary view of
What other people agree with. Yeah. I don't feel like.
I'm going for vain metaphor.
I feel like I'm a
Your
sissy.
personal interactions with your friends, do you play that much?
No, I'm a sissy. Like
Oh no.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I play the easy card out. Like
okay.
I mean, depends. Like,
Go with the flow.
It was to an extent. Like
she's gone down to the reckoning, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm watching people push each other.
My foot.
Yeah, take your shoes.
You know what I think?
Hey,
I want to smell your shoes. I want to smell your shoes.
Smelling my feet are. Like,
when the pheromones are on point, man.
Dude, your feet are fine. Like,
I know, like.
You don't
Some women have a good kind of smell to them, man. What can I say? Maybe you have a good diet.
Maybe you do.
Have you been eating some Everest bison by any chance?
It's the bison.
It's the bison, isn't it? Ode bison.
The bison.
Okay,
I
so
don't know. I feel like I'm boring. Like I sacrifice my own personal. I take the easy way out. It sucks, but I take the easy. It's honest. Like I take the easy way out.
Okay.
Sometimes.
All right. Do you get triggered much when people play the devil's advocate to you? Do you feel it makes you a bit more uncomfortable?
I don't know what it means.
Can you just tell me the dumb version what the fuck that means?
The person with a contrary opinion to the collective cool of the group.
Egotistic motherfucker.
Not necessarily
I'm
egotistical.
talking to you and I'm like, I have this opinion or something, and you disagree with me. Would you speak up on it? Like, it's kind of what you're saying, right? Like, would you?
The counter opinion,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Would you feel comfortable disagreeing with my opinion or something?
Well, let's face it. Everyone in the society is egotistic as fuck. We've all got our own opinions. Everyone's going to speak about their own. Everyone's going to disagree, agree.
So you feel comfortable, like, talking about your...
You know, I respect everyone's opinions, man. I respect that shit.
Hey, you know, I've thought, okay, so check this, right? People say agree to disagree. I mean, people rarely say disagree to agree, do they? But it basically means the same thing, doesn't it?
Agree to disagree.
And disagree to agree.
I don't think people easily disagree to agree.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, shit!
I've been wondering.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hypothetically speaking, if the bisons evolved to like the next level of jazz consciousness and they could communicate with you, right? What would you like to say to the bison?
Why jazz consciousness?
Why not techno?
Why not?
I think jazz is a bit more evolved than techno.
So bisons are playing saxophones?
They call it trance for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Trance for a reason.
Completely different to techno.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's like me saying blues and jazz are the same thing, which they are. And I can say that they aren't.
That's true. Yeah, cool.
Blues and jazz, they're not the same thing.
So you don't think bisons play jazz?
No, I think they play techno.
I agree with you. They play synth, right? They totally play synth.
Maybe they just play when nobody's around, man, because they don't want...
It's like a tree falling over.
Maybe they're too highly evolved and they think us lowly humans with our syndromes, our tall poppy syndromes, ladies and gentlemen, might want to bring them down because the ideal of the feng shui bison maybe just judges us too harshly.
Why is the bison the...
Play jazz.
No, but why is the bison the holy creature? Why?
I never said holy.
No, but why is it the creature that we're talking about?
How do you feel about bison?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe fate brought the bison into our conversation for a reason.
I feel like they're not that intellectual though. If I was to choose an animal, I would say like a dolphin or something.
Dogs are smart. Dogs are very intelligent, right?
I was going dolphin. Yes, I do agree dogs. But dolphins and killer whales have more emotional capacity than we do.
Do you know about the lonely whale?
Maybe.
Hold on.
There's like there's a whale that sings its own song, and no other whale can hear it.
Really?
And it's known as the lonely whale because it sings in a song, and like it's been seen since the 70s. Like nobody knows about this whale. Like it's always seen alone because it sings its own frequency.
I think he thought he was replicating the whale.
Yeah. But hey, like you say, they're like more emotionally evolved than us, right? Were you aware that they eat their babies and rape
ladybirds
like all the time?
Like it's scientifically proven that I'm not sure if it's all whales, but killer whales, at least I know definitely have. Why do I need two in my face? I can only handle one at a time. I'm sorry. I like to focus on one.
It's a good trait.
Yeah, I'm monogamous, not polygamous. So So, what was I saying?
But whale,
killer whales and dolphins.
They're emotionally evolved, but they eat babies.
They scientifically are able to process more emotions. So you know how like we can only see a spectrum of colours and stuff like that, and other animals can see more than us.
Sure.
So killer whales have more capacity of emotion than we do. So they have more connection with like their pods and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Dolphin scientists.
No, so I'm just saying if I were to aspire to be an animal, I wouldn't say a bison. I'd probably say a killer whale or something a little bit more intellectually developed. But that's why I was wondering why you selected a bison.
Why dolphin? Yeah, why dolphin?
Well, I
never
said
bison. Sorry, bison.
I
Yeah.
never asked if you could be one. What I did ask was if you happen to come across a highly evolved bison just on the next level of consciousness, whatever musical consciousness you want to. Okay.
Why musical consciousness? Why can't it be like a cinematic consciousness?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's a metaphor that I haven't really figured out yet.
Bison.
Fucking Scorsese bison, Martin Scorsese bison.
He's highly evolved. He's highly evolved.
This bison is
But he
good
still
fella.
eats babies.
He eats babies.
Yeah, they're in my bag. If you grab my bag over there.
Well, technically, like.
It's in a little plastic pouch. Maybe I should just look. Maybe.
I don't know. Can we judge these bisons for eating babies?
judge the bisons.
Do bisons eat babies? But like,
Do bisons eat babies?
But are we just
Seriously?
judging eating babies because it's like what society's told us is wrong? Like,
Wait, can you
Why-
repeat that?
Could you roll me one through those?
Isabella,
why are
repeat
we
that.
judging the bisons eating babies? Is what I'm trying to
Okay, that was a joke. That was satire.
Yeah,
I don't actually believe that jokes.
Do bisons eat their babies? I don't.
What is the unsatirical question though? Is if you happen to meet a highly evolved bison and he could speak English, what would you say to him or her or whatever? You know, like how would you represent for humanity?
To represent humanity, my question for the bison: why the fuck is there a bison in Victoria speaking English? There's so many other animals that could be speaking English. What the fuck is a bison doing in English? That's my question.
How did you evolve to the next level of child's consciousness?
And what are you doing here? Like, what's going on? Isabella?
I'd probably just, I don't even know what I'd say to this bison. I'd probably just get really, what's that word? Not existential. But
Existential?
No, what's the other word where you just believe in death but you don't? Nihilistic? Nihilistic,
Nihilistic,
yeah, I'd probably just say, we've fucked the world up. What do you think, bison? Because you're more evolved than us and we've already fucked the world up. So what do you think?
So do you think the world was completely fucked?
I think we've sort of...
I think the feng shui is on point around here.
I agree.
No, I agree, but I think we've overpopulated it and we've sort of like really, not commercialized it, what am I trying to say? Like, we've developed it
Discounted
in a way
nature,
that's
perhaps?
just sort of alienated every single species aside from ourselves. Like, we only care about humans.
That's true.
Which, sure, it's got its benefits. Like, we've made
I care about
so many-
bisons.
Clearly.
Yeah,
Your
something-
connection bison's quite... What is your connection with bison?
Are you
I'm
a-
very curious.
I like all animals. I like dugongs.
No,
Are you a fairy?
Bison.
Are you a fairy?
I'm a fairy.
Are you a fairy?
I'm a fairy individual.
I'm a fairy, whilst he has
so
a ferret on his
what,
microphone.
what is the difference between the fairies and the otherkins? This is what I want to know.
The Anakins?
No, the otherkins.
I think the Anakins. They
What
don't
is
know
fairy?
Star Wars.
Is that like a sexual fetish?
I think
the
fairies
Anakin
are
otherkins.
people.
I don't think it's necessarily sexual though.
But seriously, what
They're
Isabella?
sexual,
What you
aren't
said about people
Yes.
is like totally not untrue. Like I agree. At least personally, I agree. Like.
Well, didn't we hit that point? Wasn't it
Did you
like
roll me
a
one?
year or so
Thanks.
ago that there was actually a point where society was like, this is the point where if we go beyond it, it's irreparable. Like, we can continue trying to do all this sustainable stuff, but we've actually done too much damage that
To
we
catch
will
up.
get it back to what it was.
You think so? But look at all the damage in society in the
Yeah.
past, man. I mean, we've been hit by giant meteors, we've gone through ice ages, we've had giant fucking volcanoes erupt and fuck our shit up for a long time.
we've
But we've always come back, haven't we?
Yeah, but we've had 50-fold our population, which is
Yeah.
just not natural,
Mm.
and killed off so
Have
many
you
species in the process.
have you ever wondered like what if before, I'm talking millions of years ago, what if this is like a giant vicious circle? Like, you know...
Well, don't some people say that there's
Cyclical.
going to be like an ice age in like, not like soon, but like that there is going to be another ice age and there is going to be
Well,
like,
the world at this stage is, well, the sun has gone into a dormant stage, right? So, like, it's meant to be cooler on the planet. But at the same time, it is behaving very erratically in the sense of recently there was a sunspot on the sun about the size of the Earth. A big dark spot, and scientists are speculating that this could create a very gigantic coronal mass ejaculation on the Earth and like fuck up our shit for a long time.
You know what? I encourage it. If that's...
You want that ejaculation?
I'm all about the ejaculation. Woo! I want the sun to ejaculate all over my face. And all of your faces. I mean, you all seem like lovely people. I know you're a lovely person. I know you seem like lovely.
Man, but dude, like sun ejaculant is powerful, yo. It's not your everyday.
Sure.
I mean,
like,
there's not enough.
You know
There's not enough. What's that? Okay, so there's not enough pineapple juice so you can feed the sun to make that ejaculate more tolerable. It's gonna fuck your shit up, Jack.
I don't even care. Like.
You don't care?
We're always in a weird place.
So you want to cull humans?
The sun cares about you, man.
I don't want to be responsible for culling, but like...
I kind of agree to that with some
Yeah,
extent.
thank
That
you.
sounds really brutal, but yeah. I feel like
The world's in a
that's
weird
what needs
place.
to happen.
And like, even to like a small extent, like fucking
Smaller
social
extent. So
media.
just sort of like a free ejaculate instead of a
Pre-ejaculate. Pre-ejaculate. Like,
instead of the full...
The full coming.
Yeah.
The red coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, in the post-sun ejaculate Earth,
Yes.
shit is at the fan. You know, like there's no electricity
Also, there's been shit as
because
well.
there's
Wow.
been EMP, so all the power grid of the Earth is down, no power, and there's chaos in the streets.
We're gone.
How would
and I
you
are gone.
react? How would you jujitsu that situation?
Well, I mean, ideally, I'd be dead.
Ideally, you wouldn't want to live in a world without power.
Well, I mean, if the sun's gonna come all over my face,
which it is, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
That
at
sounds
some
great.
point.
I hate clubbing, but you know what?
Yeah.
I like to rave and die. There's no judgmental. There's no judging. Like
organic rave, acoustic rave.
It's going to end in like looting and starvation.
I'm into it.
Yeah, no, I'd rather just
Down for that?
rave till I die.
Rave till you die.
Yeah.
To death do we party.
Eat, sleep, rave, repeat.
Yeah.
Rinse. Maybe a bit of rinsing in there somewhere.
Yeah. Perhaps you gotta rinse before you rave.
Gotta rinse before you rave.
A bit of a rinse.
A bit of a quick rinse.
All right, guys. What's the question? Have you noticed people more so in your social interactions quick to judge rather than try to empathize with a complex and nuanced perspective that's maybe a bit outside of the box?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Do you believe in your social interactions you find people are more quick to judge rather than try to empathize with a more complex and nuanced perspective that doesn't fit into the categories
I think it depends
of
if
society?
you know the person or if you're just meeting them for the first time.
Your own personal interactions with the people in your life. Everyone.
I would like to say that I have varied interactions. Like, I think on a I wouldn't say day to day, but like within a fair few meetings of people, will bring out weird and deeper, thoughtful questions, I would like to say.
Okay.
I think it depends on the person, to be honest. Like, if you're ready for those type of conversations, then you can sort of like open it up into that and not be afraid of seeming weird or not getting an answer from it. But
Do you notice that happening more in your own personal interactions?
yeah, because I guess I feel more confident with myself, and then that helps with your personal, like your interactions with other people.
Yeah, if you're confident in yourself, for sure. What do you reckon is some of the causes that are contributing to people being more quick to judge rather than trying to empathize with the individual if he's a bit outside of the box?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. What do you reckon is some of the causes to create people to be more quick to judge rather than trying to empathize with a complex individual that doesn't, fit into the norms.
I mean, if I'm understanding the question correctly, I think that physical appearance is like the obvious thing. Like,
well, that's the first, isn't it? Yeah.
At face value, what people don't understand, people have questions about, and if that's whether it's a question or whether it's a prejudiced opinion.
But like, why do you think people stop at that? Rather than venturing in closer and trying to empathize. When, like, for me personally, my personality is I see someone a bit outside of the box, a bit weird. I'm intrigued by that shit. I want to know more about them.
And that's cool.
I want to empathize with the outsider, right? But some people, they have the reverse effect, where they become way more wary of that. And I'm wondering, like, if you are that, you say, like, you don't want to play the devil's advocate much, like, what do you reckon is some of the causes for people to become, a bit more, like, probably sounds a bit negative, but, like, surface level?
It's fair enough. I think it's a question for those people.
Well, I'm asking you guys.
I don't think I judge people based on their physical appearance or based on the face value. I don't think it's a question.
But do you get that?
Have I experienced that, or have I?
Yeah, you experienced that happen to you.
To an extent.
People are more quick to judge you.
To an extent, but like I don't think, even still, not to the point where I don't think people. I think people, once they talk to me, I think they kind of get me. Like, I don't think I'm not unapproachable. I don't think I'm that unapproachable. I'm not, walking around with like, fuck you on my forehead. Like, I don't think I'm that unapproachable. Like,
but hey, to some groups, maybe that's really approachable, man. If you're some part of some anarchist group, maybe dude's like, yeah, I like saying fuck too. Fuck this shit, and then you find your fellow fuckers. Right?
My fellow fuckers. I don't know. I don't feel that people are that prejudiced. I mean, people are that prejudiced, but I've never experienced it personally. On a personal level, I've never experienced that. I am lucky.
Do you think perhaps maybe that has something to do with the fact that you don't play the devil's advocate much?
No, absolutely
nothing to do with that at all.
Because there are
you don't think people would judge you more if you play the devil's advocate to their beliefs and dogma?
No, but I'm talking walking down the street, people that I see.
I reckon it depends on your environment. Like if you live in this, like I know because I've lived in the suburbs and I've lived in the city, and like the suburb. Please put join the conversation.
Put opinion, ladies and
but
gentlemen.
like the city compared to the suburbs is so much more open-minded, and I guess that I'm doing an air quote just so everybody knows that more educated society. I feel like a lot of people who are less open and more judgmental are more just sort of like afraid of the unknown and fear people who are different to them, like just because they don't know what that is, like it's almost like, I don't know, it's more of a long shot, but like likening it to racism. It's like people are afraid of what isn't them, what I mean? Like, the only reason why they don't like those people is because
they can't relate.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like it's different to what they're used to, and it's like, sure, I understand that to an extent, but like you've got to be open to learning about different cultures and other people. So,
do you think that education is somehow some kind of like solution to this?
Yeah, well, definitely. Like even if you look at our generation compared to like older generations, we've come forward. Like obviously we've still got so far to go, but like
what do you
the
mean
fact that we even like accept like obviously gay relationships and racism's come so far from like back in the day and stuff like that. Obviously we're getting there. It's a slow thing, but
sure. But what's this education that you speak of? Could you be a bit more specific?
Can I don't know if this is social education.
Yeah, well, I think it's just being more open and learning about like.
But like, who's this education? Like, is it a course? Is it like a specific thing, or?
It's no. I'm gonna, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a social It's not like It shouldn't have to be like a course that's taught specifically. It's it's a social understanding.
But the understandings are different.
Acceptance, yeah.
But the understandings are different
But you shouldn't
to different cultures and groups, and not only that, to the individuals as well within
have
them.
to be able to pinpoint exactly what you're talking about. Like the whole thing is just being accepting of.
That's the whole idea of the
anything.
reckoning.
Exactly. Like,
We're
you
trying to
shouldn't even
empathize
have
with
to-
why you reckon what
Yeah, but you
you
shouldn't
reckon.
even have to,
So like you have this
give
reckoning
a-
that
yeah.
if they had this education, then this would be a solution to these
Yeah.
problems. And what I'm trying to figure out is what education, whose education,
Well, it's not so much like
what
an
ideology.
it's not so much
Is it
like
a
course
particular
or anything.
ideology that you want to
It's just
educate them
being
in,
open.
or?
It's just being acceptance. Like it's probably being taught acceptance. So not so much.
I don't think you can
fear
be taught that. I don't think you can take a course on being like I'm empathetic. That's kind of.
I think it's
It's really a personal thing, isn't it? What do you reckon?
It's a personal thing, but I think it's taught through discussion. I think asking questions is so important. Asking questions it seems like a scary thing, asking,
And
especially.
I think it's sort of like maybe not so much even giving a course or anything like that, but I recognise that Australia, especially when you go to Europe, we're casually so racist.
Yeah.
Like we're a very casually racist nation. Like I wouldn't say we're a racist nation, but we're casually very racist. Like we just make a lot of racist jokes that aren't super racist. I will even admit, like I make a lot of like those kind of jokes myself, and it's just like why am I even saying that? But it's
Wasn't it the spirit behind it that matters more than the satire?
It is, but at the same time, if you're a minority group and you're receiving all of these little messages, maybe not so much someone coming up to you and saying you're black and fuck your so I don't know, like something ridiculous, but like just like little jokes here and there from so many different people, it would impact you.
So I have a point that I want to make on this, because this is pretty dear to my heart and pretty critical to the issues that I think we're facing in society. That is, it seems my generation seems to think that there's only a very few kind of minorities. There's only a few kind of people that are facing the real kind of adversity in society. And if you are a minority in another way, if you have suffered through a lot of persecution, marginalizing, adversity in your life, but you're not one of those big things. Maybe it's not race, maybe it's not sex, maybe it's something other, and you want to speak up, you generally get the attitude a lot in society that you're somehow belittling all these other things, and the only real marginalizing, the real discrimination is race and sex, and not perhaps
I'd like to say something.
The disabled, the homeless, the people that are the fucking devil's advocates in society.
I'd like to say
how is
something.
their discrimination any more or less important?
I'd be interested to know how you feel about that, because I have a lot of friends that are in those categories
Positions.
that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And I feel like they feel like they're marginalised, so I'm interested to know why they don't feel like they're
Would I be able to say something?
marginalised.
Well, because they get shut down in society by a lot of people that think the only marginalized groups are along the very linear race, sex, and this, because some people want to put those groups on a pedestal with the justification of saying they have been discriminated against.
I'd like to say something. So you just mentioned a whole bunch of different people, different scenarios, different things.
Yeah.
There's one, you mentioned race and then you mentioned homelessness, and they're two very different things, because one of them you're born into, another one you're actually, frankly, you kind of, is something that your life becomes. Whether that's because of mental illness or whether that's because of a choice, whatever. But where I'd like to go with this, last year I was
Still face discrimination.
It totally is, but it's a difference being born into discrimination and, making a few decisions that leads you into it. There's a massive difference.
But it's not where you're from, it's where you're at, wouldn't you agree?
Sure, but it's the difference between being born black and being born homeless. You're not born homeless. I was with a few friends last year, and I mentioned 20 minutes ago, I think it's important to ask questions, and I mean it when I said it. I was drinking with a few friends about 12 months ago with a guy who was born in Somalia. Sorry, sit down.
Yeah.
And I asked him very, very bluntly, I mean, I'm a white male, I asked him, has he ever experienced racism? Because I don't have a sense. I'm a white male. I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know about racism being a white male.
Absolutely
Aren't you being
not.
racist against yourself just by saying that?
He means he has
In Australia, thank you, exactly. Like, I've lived in Australia my life. I absolutely have not felt racism against me.
What do you mean by racism, man? Because it seems to be like
Racism
it's
is
a bit
hate
of the
against
loaded
a
word.
race.
Hate against a race.
Yeah, I'm a white male. I don't know what it's like.
You haven't received any hate for being white.
You have?
Well, you think that's such an anomalous thing that doesn't happen?
Have you ever experienced it?
I experience it all the time by people that want to shut down a devil's advocate perspective. They like to yell racist and sexist.
If you think you've experienced racism, you need to go to another country. I'm sorry.
No. Okay, racism is hate to a particular race. They are saying hateful things to me because I am white.
Because you're white.
Because I am a male. Yes.
No, because you're white, not because you're a male. It's a different thing. Because you're white.
So you're saying that I have not received any hate for being a male?
I can't say what you've experienced.
I thought that's what you just said. That's not what you said.
You're putting words in my mouth. That's absolutely not what I said.
Okay, if you didn't say that,
I've never
that's
mentioned.
fair enough.
I didn't put gender into it. I said I'm a white male. I've never experienced racism.
I said I get that.
Good for you.
Is that a good thing?
It's not a good thing. I'm sorry that you've experienced that.
Are you?
Where's
Okay.
Lewis gone?
Seems like it's getting a bit too controversial, the reckoning.
It's
a bit too much of a devil's advocate, perhaps.
I'd like to finish my point. I would like to finish my point.
It's going by trying to empathise with the individual's reckonings, because I'm noticing.
I don't think that's where it's going.
No, that is
Can
where
you let me
it's
finish
going.
my thought? Otherwise, I'm putting this microphone down on the ground.
You can put it down if you are, bro. I'm not stopping you.
Can I finish my thought?
Of course you can. Nobody's stopping you, bro.
I would like to finish my thought.
Just finish the thought, bro.
I asked the guy if he's ever experienced racism because I, frankly, personally,
the guy Basil,
regardless of yourself,
okay,
the guy's name is not Basil. I don't know where you got that from.
It's not.
His name is not Basil.
How did you know my name isn't Basil? What's my name, bro?
I wouldn't know. Thank you.
But you do know that my name isn't Basil.
He was born in Sudan.
How do you know that?
And because he's Sudanese. And anyway, I asked him if he's ever experienced racism since he's been in Australia for the last few years, excuse me. And he says he had. And I was with a friend who said, like, he knows what it's like to experience racism. This guy, he said he knew what it was like. He was white. He's a white Australian. He's the majority. He's not the minority. Yeah, and it's like...
Certain races can experience racism, but certain races can't, right? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, a racist can experience racism, but I'm not saying anyone in this scenario is racist.
So that's not what you're saying?
Absolutely not. I'm saying that the white guy that I know doesn't make him racist because he's white. He doesn't know what it's like to be black.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like to be black. Neither do you, and that's not a criticism. Like, we don't. Outright, we don't. In a white society, we don't know what it's like.
Why do you think it's just like there's this way of being that's black? Couldn't, you know, like, do you think there's like this collective homogenous being black? Like, I don't even identify with being white. My white experience is very different from a lot of other white people.
Sure, but that's easy
I think
enough.
that's racist in the
That's easy
beginning
enough
to be able to make all
when we haven't
these
been-
assumptions about people's race when you don't know them.
Yeah, but
You
like,
know?
I guess what he's saying is that, like, it's not so much like we're white and we're black. It's more that just like they've been in the minority for however many years, like a repressed culture. Pretty
So
much.
all minorities are oppressed.
No, like, well, I'm a female. I could say that I'm like
Okay.
minority in a sense in itself. You know?
You literally are.
I'm just trying to understand why you reckon, because this is what it's sounding like you're reckoning. But if I get it wrong, it's fine.
What are you reckoning? Yeah, what's your reckoning?
Well, this is what I'm asking you. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And if I've got it wrong, feel free to tell me that I've got it wrong in some sense, bro. This is just what I reckon, the impressions that you're giving me, you know. You're judging people by their race quite a lot.
I am.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Aren't you?
That was my whole point, was that I'm
But you made a lot of generalizations in the sense of white people like this, black people like that, didn't you?
That, like,
You didn't say that?
did not say that.
Okay, I misheard you then, brother. What did you mean when you were putting certain characteristics to certain races there?
Okay, wait. I'd like to thank you. What characteristics did I put to a certain race? Thanks.
With the guy earlier, you said that because he's white, he hasn't suffered racism.
What characteristics? What characteristic? What?
It's a characteristic of a white person not to suffer racism. That's what you were saying earlier. Did you not say that?
No.
Did you not say that?
I was asking a Sudanese guy what he knew what it was like to experience racism.
So you
and
didn't
the white
say
guy
that.
said he knew.
So you didn't say that.
I did not say that. I said.
Okay, no
the white
worries.
guy
I
knew what it
misheard
was.
you then, bro.
No worries, buddy. It's on record.
It's getting a bit triggered, I think, man.
What's going on, man?
Hashtag wrecked at the reckoning. The heels are coming on.
Tell me one thing, dude.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
What's the point of all this, man?
The point is trying to empathize with the individual's perspective, why they reckon what they reckon.
Do you reckon I can ask another question?
The Socratic method. Do you know about the Socratic method?
I've got one. I've got a question.
Hit me with a question.
I think this is a good last question. Do you guys want to find another place to drink?
Hit me with a question, brother.
Do you guys want to find another place to go? You can? I think you're good.
Ditch me, brother.
Buddy?
Ditch me. Yeah.
Good luck with the reckoning.
Yeah, lovely. A lovely to party.
This whole conversation just it brings more negativity.
I feel like
I did notice a little bit of that. Yeah.
I feel like.
It was because I played the devil's advocate, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but I feel like
That's what the devil's advocate gets in society sometimes. Man.
not necessarily, but if the devil's advocate takes things personally, then it's going
Do you think I'm taking things personally?
I think no.
Why do you reckon that?
You did. I think both of you took it personally, which is not like.
I'm honestly open to know why you think I'm taking things personally.
Because it got very heated, and you.
Do you think I got heated?
Yes, I do think you got heated.
Okay, do you think I'm heated right now?
I think you're trying to calm the heat.
I'm trying to calm the heat.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think it did get
It can't just be that I'm just chill and I'm not heated,
I
right?
think it did get heated though. It wasn't just an objective.
Oh, you are.
It definitely wasn't an objective.
You are dropped to. Yeah, well.
Thank you.
So, do you reckon I wasn't being objective?
No, but I don't think that's your aim.
In what way? What did I say or do that wasn't being
Because
objective?
you were making it personal about your personal experiences, which is fine. But
Well, what's
I'm
wrong
not
with that?
sure.
We're all talking about our
No,
personal
exactly.
experiences.
And I don't know what type of podcast this is either. Like,
It's
I
called
don't
The
know if
Reckoning.
it's like a narrator kind of podcast or if it's like a personal experience.
I implement the Socratic method. I want to understand why you reckon what you reckon. And
No, so I'm
and
just
when there's
curious.
contradictions in the reasoning, bring them up.
No, so that's why I'm just giving my more objective opinion that both of you are getting heated and personal about the
More
topics,
objective.
which is good. Like,
So objective opinion. Isn't that a bit of a paradox? Aren't opinions subjective?
oh, 100%. But I
Okay.
think all of us have got invested opinions, but I'm more objective out of you guys. I think you were getting very invested.
More objective?
And I was sort of sitting here like, okay, I agree and disagree more with.
You were the more unbiased, objective.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Of course, it's a paradox.
Good on you.
sometimes.
Good on you, man. Well done. How do you reckon you achieve that to become
No,
more
well, I'm just-
more objective and less heated? Do you play the devil's advocate much in your conversations?
I think I surround myself with people that have a lot of similar opinions to myself, so I don't find myself being a devil's advocate. But
So
if
you
I
don't play devil's advocate,
But
okay.
if I disagree with an opinion, then
That's
yes,
fair. I'm not surprised. Don't poke the fraction, man. I'm representing with a ferret and a fraction, man. This is just how I represent the reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. Final thoughts to drop to the collective unconscious of Melbourne.
I think you're self-imploding.
Self-imploding. Why do you reckon that?
No, honestly, that's my last.
What have I done or said to make you think that I'm
The last 4
self-imploding?
minutes.
The space age is upon us.
That's it.
Ooh, nothing. That's telling. That's telling. Telling, ladies and gentlemen. Telling. You don't think tall poppy syndrome plays a little bit? Maybe a little bit of a personality disorder, perhaps? Like to
honestly
shun the
think-
devil's advocate, perhaps?
You've talked over me twice in the last 2 minutes, and
I'm imploding, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just imploding. Oh, I'm just a fucking chopped poppy. A chopped poppy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm just a little wee man with no real opinions. I'm just not valid at all, man. Oh, I'm just a fool. I'm just a fool. Don't listen to me, brother. Don't listen to me. Yeah. I'm too heated, bro. I'm too heated. I'm sorry if I act too aggressive towards you, bro. I'm all about peace and love, like Bobby, you know, Rastafari, Selassie, ladies and gentlemen of the reckoning. Thanks for rolling me a smoke, brother. You guys heading out? No problem. I'm gonna put on my fucking tactical boots. This is probably gonna take me 10 minutes. Thanks for rolling for me, bro. Cheers. We'll see you on the Collective Unconscious, Melbourne. Thank you. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Respect, brother, respect.
Respect, man, respect.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one, man. Cheers. Nice pat of the head. I love you for being a devil's advocate. Can I just give you a hug? It's the fucking devil's advocate. I love the devil. I love the devil's advocate, man. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there is a beautiful woman that has stepped onto the scene. The sexy, soulful man is approaching her. Look at his stride. His swag is on point, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, she has a boyfriend. Oh, no. But hey, man, you know, like, it's worth it to try. It's worth it to try, man. She's a beautiful woman. Beautiful, soulful woman right there. Man, so you have a very angelic voice, brother, man. Like, it's gonna be broadcast to the world, man. You're gonna,
really?
Yeah, man. So
don't get that Billie Jean song in there. That's just trash, man.
I can take that out if you want, brother. But that stuff earlier, man, that really fucking hit me, brother. It's like you guys got talent, man.
Cheers,
fucking
bro.
good, bro.
Appreciate it.
Keep doing what you're doing, eh?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, feel free to be included if you like.
I reckon it's definitely sounds better than the original Michael Jackson.
Yeah, we did our own thing.
100%.
I appreciate it, man.
Because you're really like unique. I don't know, just it's nice.
He's just got like that really flawless kind of tone to it, you know? It just sounds like an angel, man. Honestly. Yeah. But so do you make your own music at all? Or
I'm just an artist at the moment. I'm just an upcoming artist.
Beautiful, man. Like, how would you like to? Do you want to drop some plugs for your band or whatever? Do you have like an artist name?
I don't have a band. I'm just like my own artist at the moment. But
I love that shit.
I'm still young, you know, looking to study and shit.
Hey, would you like to record some songs in my recording studio?
Do you have a recording studio?
Yeah, bro.
Professional one?
Yeah, well, this is what I do. I gather the artists in the community and I get them together and I say, you're an amazing artist, you're a fucking amazing artist, let's get together and let's fucking record a podcast and let's make some amazing music together.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, bro.
I'd love to do
That's
that
what I do. Well, I'll chuck down your fucking details, whatever, and I'll get back to you. I'll let you know.
I
I've
don't
got these
have a phone or
events
anything.
going on.
I only got Facebook, man.
Yeah, I'll give you Facebook.
I got family.
I got a song.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Saturday morning, jumped out of bed and put on my best suit. I got in my car and raced like a jet all the way to you. I knocked on your door with heart in my hand to ask you a question, 'cause I know that you're an old-fashioned man. Yeah. I say, now can I have your daughter for the rest of my life? Say yes, 'cause I need to know. You say I'll never get your blessing till the day I die. Tough luck, my friend, 'cause the answer is no. And why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry you anyway. Marry that girl.
Yeah, marry her anyway.
Marry that girl. Yeah, no matter what you say. Marry that girl. We'll be a family.
Why you gotta be so
rude? Yeah. Why you gotta be so rude? Alright, so that goes out to all them beautiful young ladies.
The beautiful ladies and gentlemen.
The chick saying, yeah, Dad, and the man's being old school.
I'm gonna roll a ciggy.
For permission.
Why you gotta be so cruel?
What's your name again, man?
Basil.
Charles, bro.
Charles, fucking pleasure, bro. Yeah, I fuck with you, bro.
That's open to anybody. Like, there's no lock on the door. At any time, that toilet was open, but no. Because we've done the olive harvest, where they have the Greeks in the village, it was fine. These guys were cool to piss on the yard because we know next year, great harvest. This is the type of piss we want. That acidity, like, I trust you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's good for the olives.
Yeah, alcoholic piss is the best. Like, it's the most acidic, and it really gets into the roots of the tree. It's great.
Do you think trees are conscious? Like they have some kind of awareness?
Can I ask this one? Alright, so I actually want to talk more about mycelia and the concept of our new kingdom that maybe not everybody's recognizing, but we all should, which is the fungi kingdom. No longer part of, fauna. It's got its own gig now, or flora, sorry. It's got its own gig, its new kingdom, and our trees are I think trees are a bigger part of a bigger network, and I think we're all connected, and it's tragic because most of us humans with that little front lobal thing are getting fucked up, and it exists, it's very real, and they are doing their thing. But they're doing it symbiotically with other things in nature.
Do you think maybe we tap into this collective unconscious when we're sleeping, when we're dreaming perhaps?
Yeah, I think we're always tapped into it. The only thing that ruins it is our consciousness. So, our conscious beings are the only things that got something to blame, and, what a weird thing that is.
But don't you think there are people that are pretty unconscious walking around, like there's no one really behind the wheel, they're just going through the motions, they're not really aware?
But that's the whole thing, there's still their conscious brain working. We use the term unconscious, but that's not what it is. They're conscious, like on a scientific term, they're conscious, right? So the unconscious is doing the work, yeah.
So do you think those people they exist though? They're walking around and they're kind of just like dead eyes, going through the motions?
Well, I think that's probably 90% of the population.
Yeah, true. What do you think are the kind of things that contribute people to become like that? Like, what kind of choices do you think you have to make in your life to end up like that?
To end up like that is kind of like the natural order of things. That's how you will end up. I mean, that's the Western world.
To become dead inside?
That's just how it is. That's how it goes. We're dumbed down. But if you want to get out of that, which is what I just did recently, I went into the Northern Territory and I did the Larapinta Trail. And, I walked for 6 days without any kind of wireless systems, no blue light, no artificial light. Well, nothing, right? I just slept in a swag. And,
no blue light? Oh, we're doing a podcast, man. Feel free to be involved.
Oh, yeah, George. Yeah, George should be. He's got a lot to say. He's actually...
Do you believe Pluto is a planet, George?
Well, it's what we were taught, but at the same time, there's no emotional connection to it. No one's been there. I haven't seen many photos of it, so they can change it at this point. I reckon.
What does your heart say?
Planet, man. It's what I learned when I was a kid. It's ingrained.
Do you reckon there's a lot of Pluto marginalization going on in our society these days?
Maybe, but I think it's like this new non-smoking thing that's going on. It's just like, it used to be this, and now it's that.
Yeah.
And other way around.
Yeah.
That, now it's this. But it's you change, you adapt, you learn to let go of the planet kind of complex and realize that shit is smaller than everything and large at the same time.
Bit of evolution.
Definitely.
So hypothetically, if Pluto was real and there was intelligent life on Pluto, and you happen to meet that intelligent life feng shuiing in a corridor of Melbourne, how would you represent for humanity? What would you like to say to him?
Oh, right.
Or her, whatever.
I would like to say this is a really cool city. Like, if you were to stumble upon Earth and try and integrate yourself in, you'd probably do really well here.
What if he doesn't want to integrate? He's just a punk rock Plutonian.
That is absolutely fine. You can walk around and do whatever you want, and as long as you don't harm no one, like you're allowed to be that. And people will probably like you, maybe.
Do you think harm is subjective though? Because I'm noticing a lot these days, people think that they're harmed by words, and they're harmed by.
I don't think harmed by words. I think it's harmed by people.
Do you think words are violence?
Yeah, absolutely. They're everything. They're expression. They're how we get our shit across.
They're frequency.
What kind of words have ever hurt you? Like, have you suffered some kind of injury by a word?
It's when I can't really do it because I'm not like an ex-girlfriend that hates me, but George. The way they say it.
The way they say your name.
You said like a mother thing.
I think that's like
it's like a judgmental parent, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't.
And because it's like George, it's a very short word. It's not like you can say like Georgery or something like that. You know, you can't have like
Georgery.
Man, it's a very hard word to say, in a judgmental kind of tone, right? Like my name is Basil.
Why are we doing this?
It's very hard for somebody to speak to me very like angrily with Basil. You know, it's like they say my name, Basil. It's like it's hard to say that angrily.
I think there's going to be a hack. It looks like we're going to have a hack right now, and it's going to have
It is impossible for life to be on Pluto. I don't think that's possible. So sorry, no.
Is this the Plutonian accent?
So I wanted to ask you a question.
Please do, man.
Yeah. So like the purpose of this podcast for you, like what's the meaning of this?
Are you exploiting people?
No, maybe with thoughts, perhaps.
But like
What
people,
does that mean? What does that mean with thoughts?
like intoxicated people.
Explosion of consciousness. I don't know. Well,
do you feel you're getting a little bit closer to people when they're like?
Philosophy
I
university
do, but as a bit of a broad answer to your question is simply put reckoning, because I think reckoning is on the decline a bit in society these days. We have a lot of what would you call them? Maybe ideologues, people that like to walk around and have, you know, the same ideology and act and think and talk and walk and think and act and behave the same. You know, a bit of assimilation going on. I want to try to bring back the individual, the Socratic method. Why do you reckon what you reckon? You know, and I don't want to judge you for your thoughts. You know, I just
why do you want to know? Why do you want to know that?
Because I want to empathize with my fellow reckoners. Because I think 2 minds are better than 1, and 3 minds are better than 2. And if everyone got together, we could evolve.
To just capture something, a moment in time, right? So there's something beautiful about capturing a moment in time. And if that's how, you know, if that's the gig, then that's the gig.
Do you feel the moment in time was forced though?
Well, no, because I believe I always ask people if they want to be involved. If they don't want to be involved, I don't need to be.
But I mean, do you feel?
I took 3 rolling papers for this podcast. So what happened is I didn't have any rolling papers. I had tobacco, I had a lighter, I had
Contracts
filters,
signed, ladies and gentlemen.
but I had no cigarette papers. So I went to another table and I said, hey, can I have some cigarette
And
papers?
Basil just stepped in like a doctor with 3 rolling papers.
Yeah, and so then the situation was, oh, hey, look, and I'm doing this. Do you think if your friends would mind me just chatting to you? And I went, yeah, for 3 rolling papers, that seems like a fair exchange. And that's how it's going, Greg. I mean, that's as simple as it is. It was an exchange.
Do you guys and girls believe that reckoning is on decline in our society these days? Oh, that's okay. I got a mic. That's yours. Yeah. Do you think that reckoning is on the decline in the sense that people, they have their beliefs, but they struggle to explain the reasoning behind those beliefs?
Agreed.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, agreed.
Why do you reckon that's going on in society more so these days?
I love the
do you have any
reckoning is now coming.
speculation?
It's groupthink. Right?
Think.
Groupthink. No, we should all chant it. Like, that's what's important. Groupthink. see. Like, if we all chant it, it's funnier.
It's like peer pressure.
No, it's fine.
I don't know what it's like. She don't work in the world. So she works in the world of like change management. Groupthing's actually a terrible thing.
It can be, but it can have
because
positive
there's a peer
as well.
pressure. Like so, people would, and a good example of that is like, where everyone holds like a really negative view, and someone's forced to like agree to it. That's a good thing. It's not a positive.
Do you think that positive and negative is subjective though?
Do I think positive? Do you think like positive and negative is subjective?
I do, but I'm asking you.
Well, it depends on the context of what a positive and negative.
Your own
Give an example of like
your own personal beliefs. Do you think positive and negative is subjective?
It depends. It is based on. Well, that's also depend on the person.
Right, positive and negative. We all either take things as positive and negative. You know, some people get hurt by words. Some people, you know, brush that shit off their back like a soldier and continue on. You know. Here's a question though. Have you guys and girls ever had a inexplicable kind of moment in your life that kind of baffles the mind, a bit out of the box that you kind of like...
Have you been tripping?
Maybe. You want to talk about that? Like whatever.
No, not really. I'm just trying to understand. Are you saying...
It sounds kind of like love.
Hey, that's a bit out of the box.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean by love when you say the word love?
Well, you just explained it like it baffles the mind. It's inexplicable. It's that moment where it's just like, and you don't really know what to do with it because...
It's like a feeling.
Two feelings. It's hard to process all at once.
And so have you ever had any like strange events that happened in your life? Maybe you saw a UFO or something along those lines.
Like paranormal?
Could be something totally out of the box, like unexplainable. Because love is a bit explainable. You can explain love in a sense. It's a chemical reaction.
You can.
It's a chemical reaction, isn't it? Well, if you're talking about love in the context of a feeling, that's explainable.
No, but falling in love with somebody, that's unexplainable. That's unexplainable.
What do you mean by love?
Anyway, so it's... What do you mean by love?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm talking about where you've lost control, right? So you kind of don't have a choice anymore. Your choice has been removed. It's not a healthy thing, by the way. I think it's more like a OCD situation. You've sort of taken over. Yeah, I don't recommend it for any viewers listening to this now. Don't fucking fall in love. It's a nightmare.
Okay.
I got a question for you. Do you find this boring?
Do I find this boring? Not at all, man. This is gold. What are you talking about? This is gold on the streets of
Well,
Melbourne.
can we ask,
Capturing
like-
gold from the dragon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Rescuing the
Who's the
princess.
dragon, though?
The dragon is the archetypal chaos of reality.
And so you think this is the chaos of reality?
Hell yeah, it's chaos. I don't know you folks. You're random to me. You're strangers. I'm approaching you.
What's your name again?
And I'm trying to capture the gold from the dragon.
What's your name again?
My name is Basil.
Basil, can we go around the table and see like what everyone thinks?
Yeah, sure.
Joe, do you think this is boring?
I didn't at the beginning because I thought it was funny when I talked about peeing on people's lawns and stuff.
So let's talk about some entertaining things then. Like
no,
Basil.
Basil.
Yeah.
We go around the table and ask if this is boring, because you're like kind of projecting on what was more interesting.
Do you all
think
this is boring? Are you bored?
It's my
Everyone
turn.
bored right now.
You get the next turn. Are you bored?
I've got a mic right here.
Oh, okay. Do you want to have your turn? Then I'll have my turn.
Okay. I already said I don't think. No, I'm not bored.
You're not bored. Okay, so for me, I love karaoke. I'm really excited to hold a microphone.
Is it karaoke?
Karaoke. And I feel like it's a performance element.
That's more interesting.
I actually love it.
Let's do karaoke on it.
Stop it. This is
What do you
actually a lovely, beautiful exchange that's going on. It's new, it's fresh. We actually haven't never been in this particular situation before. And we shouldn't suddenly, be arty assholes about it. I like it. I'm in. I'm actually all in.
All in, ladies and gentlemen. So representing.
This is all a new experience. Even what it does to Kendall, just
He played
holding.
the most amazing song before, and I think you should actually record that.
Would you like to drop a plug for your band, sir?
I don't really have one. Just drop a plug to music, and just keep listening to music all the time. Just all new music. Just keep listening to music.
How do you reckon music affects your psyche?
It's a crazy one because everyone's got examples of friends, whatever. I'll plug a buddy. His name is Kieran. He's fucking rad. And he's like the most chill, like nicest dude ever. And he listens to real extreme metal. And he's like so calm and just like chill, earthy dude listens to real extreme metal. And there's like one guy in the crew, and there's like 8 of them. Just like, yeah. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure.
I listen to indie and I'm insane.
So George doesn't want to plug his own music, but because we've all heard it like now, it's become for his friends.
Let's do a song when I sing. Right. We might be able to do this.
I lift you. Yeah, just do it, George. Just do it, because this is all actually our favourite song at the moment. And but yeah, George, I mean, just commit to it and fucking do it. And that's what I think. Let's make this worthwhile.
Secret whisper bright.
Stop.
Emotion muffled. And carefully slow. Blissful silence. Creaking floorboards down. Always shadows. In her sleeping, she sleeps to the sound of singing in her ear. Soft and sweet, the tune plays along. Oh, my dear, she dreams.
So what's happened is we've all got addicted to this song. We've got addicted to this song.
Yeah, sure.
As George's song. So I don't know, he's just like made this song up. But what's ended up happening? So this is what's very interesting
See
about
what
this.
music
Like,
does to the psyche, I suppose.
so a friend of ours has made a song, and
Some
independently,
people, most people listen to it, and some people play it.
different friends went off
For
and
me,
did
I'm the
their
person that
thing.
plays
You know,
it
like
at
so
the
George
moment.
played to me one night. Let's
And
say 6
you play a
months
song
ago, maybe
that
2
you've
months,
written to
maybe
your
3
friends,
months
and
ago.
they
I
just,
don't
like, fucking
know.
love it. Like,
And then
to
he
my
played
psyche,
some
that
other friend or
does
whatever. And we all went,
everything that
oh,
I
that's,
want
I
it
can't
to.
stop humming that
It
sound.
inspires you,
Like it's
pleases you.
so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Just gets stuck in your mind fuzz, yeah?
No, it's one of those. No, it's one of those songs, and so yeah.
Is it weird how like no means yes sometimes in our language? Like no, yeah, nah. What's up with our English language? Like who wants to hold the mic?
So what do you do? Are you at uni and studying journalism, or what are you doing?
I'm studying psychology at the moment, actually. Yeah.
Oh, so is Greg, but he's gone now.
Oh, really?
But yeah.
Interesting. I should talk to him about psychology. Do you know much about psychology? Have you ever read much Carl Jung or Nietzsche or any of those guys?
No, I don't know. Like, I've read a lot of sort of pop psychology online because it's always just available to us, isn't it? Like, but I haven't read any deep psychology really. But I'd love to. Like, I think it's interesting.
A lot of people think, pop psychology, it's just some guy on YouTube giving his own thoughts. But a lot of those people have some pretty genuine kind of thoughts and opinions based on real psychology. So.
Like that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. That guy. I mean, he's more a journalist than a psychologist, but that's kind of a.
That's been mentioned a few times in this podcast, actually.
Yeah,
The Subtle Art
it's a
of
good
Not Giving a
book.
Fuck. Yeah, I have to check it out because it keeps on reoccurring. So this is a good idea.
Yeah, definitely read that. It's good.
What I noticed though upon studying psychology, it seems you get a better awareness of how your own mind operates in a way.
What did you find? Like, how did you?
Well, I noticed that, because I go through a lot of conflict in my life, you could say. And I like to analyze myself and see like what role I'm playing in this, you know. And because I have a bit of a disagreeable personality, you know, that's just how I am, you know. But I find that it rubs certain personality types the wrong way, and these personality types are very obvious because they exhibit characteristics of like a sociopath or avoidant personality disorder, things like that.
There's a purity. There's almost a childish purity.
What do you think you fall under?
Narcissism and stuff like that. What do I fall under with personality disorders? Well, the thing is, like, I believe that I did have traits of a lot of personality disorders before I became aware of what they are. And I think, like everyone does, though, you see, it's like, it's human nature, you know. I think we look at all these personality disorders in the sense of like they're all negative, you know, but I think there can be positive ways to use them like a tool.
Yeah, you can be like a, what's it called, like a functional depressive or functional.
Of course, it depends on what your goal is in life, man, you know, and...
Even like Dexter, he's a functional psychopath.
Exactly.
I like that idea. That's why it's such a good TV show. I mean, I haven't watched it much, but it's such a good idea for a show, isn't it?
Where it gets negative, the way I see it, is when it becomes pathological, in the sense of like...
you believe...
You're not aware of what you're doing.
Ah, you're not aware, yeah.
And
I've
then
only recently become
you're just on a roller coaster of your
doing.
own kind of pathologically, your pathology
I was like that for
dictating the way you
years
see
and years,
reality.
and just recently, I think with maturity, I realized like you admit that you are a bit crazy, or not crazy, but like you admit that like, okay, yeah, I am a bit like this, and then you can move forward with it, and you don't have to be like in this disillusion of like not knowing what's wrong. Like it's good, yeah, because I think it's better if you sort of are aware of how you're acting. Like a lot of people don't know.
Would you say a good way to become more aware of yourself and the people around you is to integrate your dark side, your as Nietzsche would say, to integrate your shadow?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
Because if you see people as
not in a
wholly good or
horrible
wholly
way.
bad, you're not really looking at the individual, are you? 'Cause
No.
I think we're all good and bad at the same time. We're all complex.
I agree. Totally.
One question that I've been asking people is, do you believe that you play the devil's advocate much in your social interactions with your groups? Do you know what I mean by devil's advocate?
So, what do you like? You play on the dark side of someone's personality,
well, a devil's advocate basically means you are representing the
bad side of someone?
No, the counter argument to the collective cool of the group, to the collective dogma of the group. You're the canary in the coal mine would be another way to describe it. Do you know what I mean by that? Yeah, okay. Do you believe that you play that much in your
I have
social
been
interactions?
more recently, and I like it. I like doing that.
Have you been playing it more since you've had this realization about your own psychology more?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Why do you reckon you do that more so
because
now?
it's part of my personality, and I'm just going to accept it and embrace it and just be me. And it might be a bit of a sort of a mean streak or a dark streak, but I'm just going to embrace who I am and be like that. And
do you get a lot of shit for it?
No, I can't.
Not yet, but with my partner I do, yeah. But like, no one else.
He doesn't
is really
like the devil's advocate roles much.
She.
Sorry.
We do have, because there's some disagreement sometimes, but it's fine. Like so far, it's mostly when I'm drunk. So.
Oh my god! I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about how hot Joe is, and I've mainly heard it. No, I don't need to hold on. But I just,
the conversations always turn to sex. Always or something.
No, I just want to talk about. I still haven't seen you on fire yet. The only reason I've come out is because when Joe and Jacqueline came over, I could see Joe was on fire, and I was like, okay, well, I kind of want to hang out with that, right? So I'm flying out tomorrow morning. I was like, no, I kind of want to see Jo on fire. That's why I came out, because there's a lot of fun when she's a little naughty, and she's just so straight A's most of the time. So
really?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
What do you reckon causes her to be a bit more naughty? Alcohol, there you go. The social lubricant, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, and I also think maybe as people are getting more comfortable in their skin, as Jo and Jacqueline really settling in, like it's probably a year and a half now or something. I don't know, Jo's, maybe that little demon's always been in her. Anyway, I want to hang out with that little demon, it's fun. It's naughty, I love it.
Like the naughty.
It's so much fun.
Bit outside of the box, bit outside of the norms of society,
Yeah, just, challenging, a little bit, fuck it, a little bit punk, I think.
Do you do that much in your social interactions, like play the devil's advocate, play the punk kind of attitude?
Maybe I just look out for it and praise it when I see it. I don't know if I am it, but I praise it when I see it because it's just a lot of fun. It's hilarious, actually. It's like people fighting the system. What's more fun than that, right?
Exactly. I mean, like
so much fun. So much fun.
We were talking about boring, like earlier, right? And what I find the most boring is when you're a group of people and you're just assimilating and you're being assimilating.
It's horrific. So we have regular arguments amongst our lot.
What's a regular argument?
Alright, so a regular argument would be like this, like, shut the fuck up, Greg, you're talking shit. It's that type of thing,
I like talking shit, though.
Like, but it's kind of regular with us.
I do, but none of them are good.
I would say, like, at least weekly, that we just go, fuck off, you're talking complete shit. Like, you're absolutely, get back in your box type of thing. Yeah, so we're not
polite. Poppy syndrome, perhaps?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just when people, because we're all kind of ego-driven beings, aren't we?
Yep.
And we'll get a little bit out of control at different times, so...
That's true. Do you think your feng shui is on point this evening?
I wouldn't say so.
You're not facing the east?
I don't know if that implies to a human, does it?
Well, feng shui in the sense
I've never thought of it in a sense of a human.
Well, you can feng shui yourself, your own psyche. Do you think your psyche is very balanced and kind of like...
Do you think you're at your best
organized?
Are you your best self? Right?
Organized in a way to best kind of pursue your own ideals and your own goals in life. That would be a good way to phrase it.
Usually. And yes, I do right now.
There you go. How do you reckon you got to that stage? Do you have like some rituals? Do you have some kind of ways of thinking or being that contribute to you having that correct feng shui?
Usually guilt. So I eat a lot of junk food at night, and I drink wine and stuff. So the next day, I can feel I gotta make it up to myself. So like,
that's right. You shame yourself into
just hit it real hard, like because I fucked up last night, and then I had a real good day. I'll just treat myself, and it goes round and round, and it works. And I'm not whatever.
So
I'm not gonna die
Can I
tonight.
talk on your behalf?
So like shame maybe isn't wholly a bad thing.
Oh, never. Nothing is never wholly a bad thing.
Wholly good or wholly bad. It's a bit nuanced, isn't it?
It's just shame. It's just a thing. Like what you do with it is what matters, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if anybody's really fucked up, if anybody's kind of starting to fail a little bit, across the friendship group, and that's Spiders, as a network. George is the guy that will be there to support that person through whatever shit they're going through.
Good on you, George.
So that's not a character trait that everybody has. I certainly don't have it. Like, I'm way more hedonistic than that.
You're a lighter.
Hedonistic?
Way more hedonistic. I just want to have my good time, like...
What does that word mean, hedonistic?
I think hedonistic, it means that you're kind of selfish. Yeah, it means that, you put your own interests before others. And I think George is a different being. No, it's not about empathy. It's got nothing to do with empathy. It's just the fact that I can feel empathy for you, but I choose to act for me, right? So that's hedonism. I think it's selfish.
Well, that would be the distinction between a sociopath and a narcissist. See, a narcissist doesn't feel the empathy, but a sociopath...
I'm sorry, what is that?
We're doing a podcast. Would you like to stroke the furry mic?
It's a beautiful mic.
There you go.
I'm glad to make a guest appearance in your podcast.
Would you like to drop some gems to the collective unconscious of Melbourne?
I have nothing to add. I'm boring. I've got nothing to add. But
I don't think you're boring.
You do not look boring.
I'm very boring.
Come and take a seat.
Do you think Pluto is a planet?
Pluto is a planet?
Pluto is a planet. Do you think so?
Pluto is... don't diss Pluto.
Fuck yeah, right?
Pluto is... Don't knock Pluto. I might be back. I might return. I might come back in a bit. Seriously, I like your mic though. It's like really... I thought it was... We thought it was a squirrel. We thought your mic was a squirrel.
Well, it actually is, man. I'm just playing mind games with you.
It could be. You know what? I'm regardless, I like your mic.
It's a squirrel, but it does record.
What if your mic is made of Pluto? Your mic, the dog! Pluto the dog!
Fucking represent
I'll come back. I'll return. Enjoy, guys.
Represent for the blue planet of love, ladies and gentlemen. We're representing for Pluto here at the Reckoning.
I think Planet Toto was a good call.
Yeah,
Would,
Planet Toto, no, that's another one.
We'll hang out for that guy. That's not a bad handle.
Yeah, so like I was saying, the difference between a narcissist and a sociopath is a narcissist doesn't actually feel the empathy, you know, but a sociopath can feel it, but they disregard it. They put their own feelings above anybody else's.
Yeah, I would say I'm more a sociopath than
You think so?
narcissist. Yeah, because I definitely feel some empathy, and I don't think I'm always a sociopath, but when I'm going to go out drinking or running amok. Yeah, it's a spectrum, right? So
it's human nature,
and
actually,
I also
to be
think I can turn it on and turn it off. So I think I'm a sociopath when I want to go out and have fun, and I turn on my sociopath gene. I'm really good at it. So I can sort of sense where the fun is, and when I can see some people in need or whatever and they're going through their shit, I can feel that and just remove myself from it because I want to have a good time. So then I'll find a better crowd.
I don't think that makes you a sociopath.
Okay, well I'm okay with the title if that's what it is, because I don't actually give a shit about titles, but yeah, but that's how I roll.
Man, it could be a positive trait, but I think where it gets negative is where
I don't want to hold it, man.
No, you're good. There's plenty of room to shoot you over. You're good.
Yeah, no,
so, like,
I'm not
where
holding
it becomes negative, I think, is when it becomes pathological, when you're not aware of it. Just you saying that you may be that, shows that you're not pathological about it.
I actually don't care what I am. I'm just going to do what it is I want to do. Like, I'm just
I'm sure
really,
you
like,
care what you are.
No, I'm
sure
actually
you care about yourself.
I'm sorry, guys. That is...
How can you care about yourself more than others, but not care about yourself at the same time?
But Basil, man.
But I
that
don't
is
care about your opinion of me, I suppose, is what
Kendall,
I'm saying.
darling.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair, right? I actually don't care.
There's all these like various diagnoses and things and symptoms and things that are like, you know, and they've been very broadly kind of portrayed. And it's hard to say who's what because like everyone's got a little bit of everything, especially in
like I said,
a time like this.
Like, he's on the other level, right?
And so
he's the most beautiful soul.
He's on the next level of jazz consciousness here.
Well, he's somebody that
I've been striving for it, man. I watched the Mighty Boosh. I understand.
He says us some pain, he'll go in and
Howard
help
Moon
that
represented
person.
at the Reckoning.
He'll go and help that person, even if it means ruining his night. He'll do it. He can't help it.
Okay, to play the devil's advocate to that ideology, let me just say, do you guys reckon that the Power Rangers had it right? In the sense that their power came from friendship and unity.
I love that show when I was a kid, like religiously. One of my strongest memories as a child is missing an episode and hitting like go on the TV as soon as the closing credits are rolling. Fucking screamed and lost my shit. Like that's
Power
like
PTSD, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real thing.
Very real. That shit stuck with me.
Together, which was probably 10 years before that.
Shazam.
But yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Captain Planet.
No, it's like two
Shazam.
rings that came together, and then the rings came together, and that's what it was. Yeah. But yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. Is the collective better than the solo? Absolutely. Consistently it is. And this is why we're all yearning for community. And I think in our modern world, like everybody's really separated from that. But here in Brunswick, it's not like that. It's very community driven.
But a person or Very few people on their own, they go insane.
They go insane. Oh, they just, I don't know what happens, but I'm glad I'm not that.
Well, no, they turn more wild, more primal, and I'm not sure if that's right or wrong,
They
but
might get meaner. I don't know. And that's meaner than me, and I'm pretty mean. Anyway,
Mean
whatever it
bitch.
is, but
Mean bitch
friendships
on the right.
is everything. And being part of a community is critical to your mental health.
Yeah, so do you feel like you're a bit of a Power Ranger when you feel like unity and friendship, when you're part of a tribe, you know?
I don't know if
common
we're really
goals?
a tribe, because we all kind of
we are
do our
definitely
own
a
thing.
tribe. We are definitely a tribe. We are wandering nomads of the Sydney area.
Wandering nomads.
Who's the shaman of the tribe?
It's a collective kind of triangle amongst 5 people. It's no one.
You know, a spiritual leader?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a cool group. It's a cool little crew.
So you're all leaders?
Yeah.
Who's leading the group?
I don't recognise that as a
one.
crew, by the way. I don't recognise it as a crew. I just recognise it as
conscious.
You know, there are always leaders, but they choose their times to lead. So it's everyone has a different kind of role, a different skill, a different trait that can be expressed.
Do you think you lead much, or you're more of a follower?
Oh, definitely lead, man. But like
What kind of direction are you kind of leading towards, trying to pursue?
Trying to pursue?
In your own life, in your own kind of goals, your own ideals, man.
Oh, I put it very broadly, but quite accurately, I suppose. Just working on making my life way better in the future. Making some plans and some goals and doing some shit that's hard that'll pay off.
What are those goals? What are those
Just
plans?
study and practice and.
But what's the end goal? The end goal of that?
The end goal. Very happy 60% of the time.
having a lot of sex.
And a cool house, having a lot of sex, playing a lot of music, hanging out with my friends and my girl, and being able to barbecue in the summer and being able to hang out in some kind of glass house that's has heating in the winter and there's plants growing in there. I think that's what I'm working towards. That's
like
what
space
I want.
age, man. It's next level.
And 3 rabbits. I want three rabbits.
What are you going to call your rabbits?
George is kind of already halfway there, by the
I already
way.
have
He's got
one.
the girl, he's got the rabbits.
Oh, you're almost there, man.
I have one,
he really
and we're
is.
getting
He's
another
very
one.
close.
And then, but anyway, that's shit dream. It's not shit dream, it's my dream.
So, do you reckon if you align all those things in the perfect kind of balance, you will find happiness and meaning and purpose in your life?
That is the happiness and meaning and purpose. But no, never, because when you have that, you want something else, and then you go on and do that, then you go on and do that.
So maybe the journey is the destination.
I want to be pretty content with the journey, I think.
So I don't know if I asked you this, but do you play the devil's advocate much in your social interactions?
I would definitely. I break a lot of shit.
I think we all do. I actually think the reason
Like,
why
yeah,
we're all
I'm
friends is we
I'm
all
an
do
asshole,
this.
like, when
We all
it's
challenge
fun.
each other.
Yeah.
Don't you think this is kind of like being
the most innocent to me. No, George he's not innocent. He likes controversy.
He's controversial.
George likes controversy. He does secretly like it. He acts like he's the peaceful, keeping it
I'm on this peaceful.
You're usually causing the shit.
But at the same time, he will call your shit, man. He will call your shit.
We're all about peace, love, war, and hate here at the Reckoning.
But this is why I think we've all become friends, is because of that honesty in the fact that, none of us are yes men. None of us. Like, we're always challenging.
Like a radical honesty group.
I wouldn't call us a radical. No, this kind. Well, number one, group. I don't like the term group, and I don't like the
Why
term
don't you
radical.
like the term group?
Well, I don't think we're a group.
I like the term radical. Yeah, I do like
Like, as a collective, we are a radical.
What does that even mean, radical?
Going against the status quo, just radical.
Yeah, we're a radical.
I
We're
guess.
not a group. We're
I'm down with that. I'm down with the status.
I don't know if we are radical. I just like the word.
No, we are. Well,
the status of the quote needs to change, though.
I like rad. Seen that in text.
Eccentric, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's, against the grain.
Well, I think we all kind of enjoying arguing.
You know,
with
I
each
think
other.
honestly,
And I
if
think
one of
that's
us
what's the help.
tried to leave
That's
one
the
of the
help.
others, it would completely.
Oh no!
No, it's not how it is. Like,
that's not how it is. With
Who will be the first to leave the group?
Jacqueline, Basil, me.
I'm gonna make this my next project.
Me, it's going to be me. But anyway, Basil asked the question earlier. Is there a leader of the group? Like,
No.
Who's leading this?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they're Greg.
No,
because Greg brings us all together.
Well, he brought us together, but he's not the leader.
He's not the leader. Yeah, no.
Greg texted me tonight and said, "Come hang out. I'm with George at our place. We're having drinks."
Yeah,
and then we get there.
Greg went
Of
away
course,
and
Kendall's
had a shower
there
and
'cause
got
they're
dressed and we were
housemates.
hanging out there.
Greg brings us all together.
Yeah, Greg definitely brings us together, but I don't think he's a leader. I think it's a really different skill set.
Then who's the leader?
Greg's a coordinator. I don't believe we have a leader. I think that's
I'll be
kind
the
of
leader if you want. If you want, I'll be the leader.
No, I'm the leader.
I think I'm the leader in a way.
I'm the leader.
I think you've broken us, Basil. I think you've broken us. I think this is an unhealthy topic.
And we're all about dysfunctional unity here at the Reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we represent on the streets of Melbourne.
Finish
Greg would love this.
too much.
We can move to another table.
Yeah, go check out those.
We'll wait for you guys to like.
No, we're done. We're done. We just close it out. We are done. We are done.
We are going to enter a new group now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to join the longer head group. We're going to represent with curls. Multiple fractures, ladies and gentlemen. We're representing multiple fractures in 3 painkillers deep of the reckoning.
Look, it's lovely to
okay, I'm a
meet you,
soldier.
and we appreciate.
It's been nice to be part of this little thing, man. Enjoyed it.
Do you have some final thoughts to drop to the collective unconscious of Melbourne?
Well, I guess this is a pretty good example. Just having your thoughts and sayings recorded.
Don't listen to mainstream radio.
Yeah, don't listen to mainstream radio. At the end.
Don't listen to the media, full stop, and don't follow normal medicine either.
PBS, Triple R, ladies and gentlemen.
Biohack, man, biohack yourself.
Put magnets in your fingertips and you can open any lock.
Check him out.
Don't wear sunglasses.
I love wearing sunglasses though. Okay. We'll see you in the collective unconscious, Melbourne. We represent with Furry Michael Love.
That was a good ending.
It was actually really cool.
I didn't see that coming that last 1 minute.
Well, that's just how I jiu-jitsu the situation, ladies and
Are you
gentlemen.
jiu-jitsu?
I'm a jiu-jitsu master.
I mean, I compromise my opinion.
Yeah, what does make what's your most favorite topic then?
Reckonings, man. Reckonings is
When
my
you say
favorite topic.
reckonings-
Yeah, like, what do you reckon? That's what I'm interested in.
What
know?
do you
like,
reckon is going to happen tomorrow?
What have you guys been reckoning about lately?
That's the whole point. Like, why do you reckon what's gonna reckon?
Why do you reckon what you reckon? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you?
Okay.
Why would you reckon what? Why would you express why you reckon what you reckon?
Yeah, like, why would you even
hypothetically speaking, if you're not involved in like a Borg assimilation hive mind where everyone thinks the same and acts the same, talks the same, and you are a individual, you like to express
what
what
I'm
you
trying
believe.
to say is, why would you like trying to consider recording someone who's reckoning what's gonna happen tomorrow, whereas you're recording something that's happening today? It actually goes against what you're doing right now.
Well, I never mentioned tomorrow. See, but I'm open to that. But I'm open to talking about tomorrow. I mean, it's not reckonings. It's not like a specific date.
I reckon that today. Everything I want to reckon is why isn't that chicks like dumb guys, fucking assholes, and then when you're freaking nice, they become assholes themselves.
Evolution? Evolution?
Really?
Have you ever studied evolutionary biology before?
Yeah, I have, but they're evolving dumbly, you know what I mean? Pretty dumb.
True. That's true, man. I mean,
I tell a girl, nice ass, she gives me her number. I tell her she's beautiful, she tells me I'm an asshole.
Well, that would depend on the girl, right?
Yeah. Well, what do you think about that?
I think that
You know, some women respond well to that, but I think it's all about a confidence thing. I mean, if you go up to a beautiful woman and go, excuse me, but I think you have a great boob. She's probably not going to respond very well to you.
No,
you know?
actually, I said nice ass and I got a phone number.
As a woman, I would like to say that when you say, oh, I think you've got a nice ass, that's, you being flirtatious. But when you say you're beautiful, that's more like, that shit's getting more real now. So I'm going to move on to another guy who's not so realistic.
So which means they love...
Because I don't want to be talking real shit to people I just met.
And by the way, he got very real by calling the girl beautiful. So we can easily point out how she probably like, oh my god, he wants a relationship with me.
That's true, man.
You know,
So,
like guys. Okay, let's
if you saw a girl
let's put a point
with
that
a nice-
all guys. Oh wait.
Rare?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you tell her nice ass. Are you comfortable telling her that?
It wouldn't be the first thing I'd say, you know. But like, I'd be comfortable saying it as like a joke, you know, like
a joke, right?
Yeah, to cut the tension a little bit. It'd be a little bit too serious, you know, a bit too eggshell oriented, you know. You know, drop some gems, you know. It's like you got a nice ass, enjoy yourself. You know, like, I'll say something like that. Fuck it.
So, what are your chances if you're gonna tell that lady nice ass?
It totally depends on the individual, man. I'm not gonna say because she's a lady she's gonna respond this way. You know?
I actually said it to a random girl.
Yeah, it's a random girl.
And then she was like, no, I didn't ask for the number right away, but I kind of like told her, hey, you've got a nice ass. And then she's like, you're an asshole. I'm like, yeah, my name is Emmanuel, and what's your name? I introduced myself rather. And then we got talking.
You're not scared off by her initial reaction.
Fucking hell no.
That's what the girls want. They don't want pussies. That's the thing.
The thing is, I know there's plenty of it out there. So why do I actually want just yours? All I need is, hey, just want to talk. You know? Because when you sound nice to a lot of ladies, they look at you as lame.
Yeah, well, if you look at the etymology of the word nice, do you know where that word comes from? It's okay, I gotta mark it. But do you know where that word comes from, nice?
I don't know.
Yeah, nice means, if you look up the etymology, it means agreeable, naive, kind of dainty, coy, fastidious.
It is very vague. It is a very vague sort of compliment.
It's kind of like the appearance of kindness. Without the actual body of the substance of actually being kind.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's being polite.
It is being very polite.
Actually, what I see it as weakness. It just shows you're weak. Because I used to be a nice guy before, and then half the times every girl tells me, hey, I see you as a friend, as a brother, because I'm nice. But when I became an asshole, like technically if I tell somebody nice ass or hey, nice boobs, you know, what size are these? And then she's like, what the fuck?
Some women want a savage.
Exactly.
Beta males, it's just gonna like...
They want alpha males, man.
Exactly. We don't have a lot of them in our society.
Really?
Well, from what I've been noticing doing this podcast, a lot of agreeable men, a lot of agreeable kind of like nice sounding men that'll only tell you what you want to hear.
I don't want to tell anyone what they want to hear. I want to tell you what I feel I want to hear.
But you saying to them that they've got a nice pair of ass doesn't quite sit well, because that's you trying to tell them you think that that's going to impress them, because you are trying to impress them.
No, actually, I'm telling you what I see in my mind. Like, really, that's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's not safe, would you agree, to be honest like that? Yeah?
Because, a lot of people will tell you, oh, hey, you're harassing me, you know? That kind of shit.
It's not harassment, it's more of a forward thing.
Truth can be harassment to some people.
Exactly.
Especially when that person that's talking about this thing is just come up to you and you don't know that person and they're just like, oh, you've got a nice pair of ass. Sure.
It's also the dynamic that men are a lot more intimidating than women in general, you know? So there's always that, like, threat of violence there, you know. So,
Yes.
so when you say something like that, it's always like insinuated that you could overpower a woman. So that's why I think it's a bit, you know, it can be. But it also depends on the woman, man. You know, like if she's a bit of a thrill seeker, if she's a bit dangerous herself, maybe she'll respond.
That's very true. Unfortunately, you'll not know about how the woman will react until you actually talk to the person. Yeah.
It's just like I had this conversation with a chick I met 2 weeks ago, and she's actually an Aussie chick. And then I just asked her, okay, if I told you you've got a nice set of rack, what would you say? And she's like, yeah, she's fine with it. And then I asked her, do you know who enjoys sex more? Was it the guy or the girls? And she's like, that's way too much. And I'm like, be truthful. Don't say, don't pretend or something. And she's like, we ladies, we enjoy it more. I'm like, how? And she gave me this fucking example. And what the example is, have you ever had an ear itch before? And when you try to wind your ear with your hands, what part of your body enjoys it? Like when you...
Maybe like your amygdala?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Inside your head, it's feeling good. And she's like, yeah, you're the hands, we're the ear. When you wind it, we enjoy it more.
That's a very good analogy.
And I'm like, what? And then when I say it and you guys are like, you're a pervert, what the fuck? Come on, doesn't make any sense, you know? But why pretend if you like it?
It seems like society seems to think that only men can be perverts. What do you reckon? You notice that going on?
I know women who are equally perverts. Yeah, women can be.
They are way greater perverts than we are. They are way greater perverts than we are. Because
I agree. Okay, now here's the thing.
I have men.
Men are the worst
perverts than women.
Let me give you.
Why do you reckon that?
That's not true. That's not true.
That's not true. But no, wait. A lady could be.
Why do you reckon that?
Okay, let's learn.
Because you guys are generalizing in the terms that you guys have been good guys and you
We're
guys
not good guys. I know I'm not a good guy.
You are. I'm a bastard. You're a good guy. That's it. I can tell you go fuck yourself and you're gonna sit here. That's it. You're a good guy.
Really?
End of topic. If you come up, punch me. That's it.
But the point is,
look. The point is.
Maybe you like to get punched.
The
Maybe
point.
it's a Fight Club scenario.
Yeah, it's a Fight Club scenario. If you got a Fight Club scenario going. The point is, you can think female are like a version of perverts who is hard to like catch, where you're like, oh, female can be like.
Okay, let me give you an example.
Okay,
sorry. No. Let me finish.
I actually dated a girl who has actually screwed 5 of my friends, including me.
But have you?
The question is, why were you dating this girl when you knew this?
She was that good in bed. Fuck it.
Could you give him my number though?
But the point is, she actually screwed all of us round.
Yeah.
We knew about it, but yet she tried very hard to cover her tracks.
That's one girl though.
But she didn't succeed.
She didn't succeed, but the point is, she thought she did. But we all knew, like over a bottle of beer, we were able to like, hey, who's next? Like when next? Like we're talking about her.
No, man, I don't think you're really grasping the point here. The point is, you're talking about how females can be like dangerous to men.
Not
in terms
dangerous.
of how
Like
they can.
that ain't dangerous to me. But the point is,
pointy reckonings, ladies.
She's saying she's faithful to me, but I know she's actually cheating. You see? And she's fucking everyone every day of the week. And then we all have a drink and we're talking about how good she is in bed. How do you reckon that?
I reckon that's...
Who is more of a pervert?
That's free love. That's one girl out of
that's like national
look,
cake, man.
That's one girl out of 200.
Everyone taking a piece.
That's actually the sort of thing that you
Why not ask the girls and see what their opinion on
And the
this?
point,
I reckon no matter how much we discuss tonight,
every girl,
there will be some reckless woman, there will be some reckless man ending up together with whatever we've discussed right now.
Oh,
with
yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's how it
the
is.
painful part
It's
is,
Friday.
the painful part
Because
is
in the end,
every
all of us
girl-
are perverts in the same mindset.
That's very true.
It's just that one side is
Calm down.
given a more leeway compared to the other.
As
Because
humans, we
every-
have
to be
that
honest,
hunger.
guys,
Like,
just love it when
if
girls
you
are
ask a girl, hey, are you cheating on me? She is gonna blow your head off. Like, she's only gonna point to you, hey, I'm faithful, you're the one cheating.
Yeah, projection. Their reaction.
I wouldn't deny if I was cheating. But the point is, if I was cheating, I have a reason for cheating. And the reason is you're not giving me what I want.
Right.
Simple.
Look, whatever you saying,
Trying to
whatever
justify
everyone
cheating
you
right
said
there.
is from like a
No,
20-year-old.
I'm not justifying it, but
look. Whatever
cheating is wrong. But
Yeah,
if I expect to get back from work and expect,
Now here, look. The thing is, whatever you're saying, whatever you think is right, is from a perspective
It's
of like
wrong,
a 20 and 30-year-old guy who thinks cheating is right. If the girl is not giving you what, girls are bitch because they sleep with everyone. But that's like one girl out of 100, and you're judging them. I'm not for feminism.
yourself, you're the only
I'm
guy.
not-
By
No,
saying
I'm not.
like a man his
Don't-
age is gonna think like that.
Yeah, exactly. He is. He is.
Dude, calm down. I need to tell you.
Don't you think he's not? He is.
I need to-
The thing is,
I need
he
to
is,
tell you
and I am.
I need to tell you a honest truth.
Look, I'm
Do-
gonna
do
tell you
not-
honest truth. The thing is, out of 100 girls, 5 of them would do that, and you probably fell for like 4 of them. That's you. Out of
I
that,
fell for 90 of them.
yeah, exactly. You fell for 90 of them. Out of like
He just gave his
500.
sex count out, guys.
You know they
No,
say
out of
that
like 500. The whole point is, what you're missing out on is you think female are like gonna cheat on you and they've got a better advantage on you.
I
Cause
don't think he said that though.
No, I didn't say that.
no, you meant
wait,
that.
I
You-
just said
what
we're
do
all
you- what do you-
equal, just don't hide it.
What you meant is like a girl can like sleep with everybody and she can be a
No,
slut
what
and she
I
can
mean is,
still
don't
defend
pretend
you
we're all
and
bad.
this and that.
Just open up. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
That's what I mean.
And like we need to integrate our dark sides maybe in society.
I
and everything. What do you
agree with
reckon?
that.
No, what do you need
Like
to
Nietzsche
integrate?
said, right?
What do you need
we
to
are only in
integrate?
the age of porno, so why
We are
not
in the age
go
of porno,
integrate
that's
into it?
No. What?
90% of every fucking interview I do always resorts back to sex, man. Like,
Okay, so let's-
like
The primal need.
It's primal, right? It's where we came from.
Let me
how the
make
earth
it
was
easier
created.
for you though. Let's change the topic to our conversation earlier where we were talking
Okay.
about very interesting series.
No,
Series.
not the series. Look,
We were talking about very interesting
He just
cartoons.
went from like, I
know.
reckon this series is
I'm
good.
making it PG positive.
PG.
Let's see what happens.
Actually, people enjoy plus 18, not
Life
than
isn't
PG.
PG though.
Even kids enjoy plus 18. I've got a 13-year-old cousin who enjoys Game of Thrones sacredly. Not even South Park, man. Game of Thrones.
How can you know like Game of Thrones?
He was just
don't
mentioning
know.
that his
He knows.
3-year-old nephew was
Yeah,
like,
we're watching South Park together.
and was watching like
3 years old.
the foul moments.
Come on. The world is already corrupt enough.
It's true, but I think, you know, like...
Even if he
That's
doesn't...
not corrupt. That's natural instinct.
Look, even if I don't watch it with him, one day he's gonna be caught watching it anyways.
It's true.
It's just like parents who say, hey, never have sex, but they don't tell you what involves in sex.
Of course,
And
we're
then
just gonna...
one day
yeah.
you're just intrigued and then you go have sex. What the fuck? You did the same shit your parents didn't want you to do in the first place.
It's the way of the world. They just don't want you to have babies. Just don't have reckless sex, that's it.
What if they tell you...
Like if you shelter people too much,
Yeah,
they're just gonna rebel.
They will, they
It's human
will.
nature.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't hide them from the real world.
Maybe there's a balance though between like sheltering and still kind of exposing them to, you know, little levels of, you know, like the real world, but you know, like to a degree, you know, I think there's probably a good balance, a good middle ground. Like I'd never tell my kids about Santa, for instance. Would you guys buy into the whole Santa thing if you had kids? Like, you tell your kids
I will
about
play
Santa?
along with them if they're really young, but then at a certain age, I'd probably be like, no.
What age do you reckon?
I grew grew up without.
Depends on how they react
Santa,
to
I
things.
grew up without that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I grew up
right. So,
without the
which
ideas
means
of Santa.
I ain't gonna say shit about Santa in my house.
But you grew up in a different culture, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, which means
where are you from?
Nigeria.
Nigeria, right? Yeah, there's no Santa in Nigeria, right?
Fucking hell, no. There are for those who feel they don't want to face reality. But for me, I didn't grow up with Santa. What the hell?
What the fuck is Santa anyway?
What the fuck is Santa?
What is
Basically, you be good, I'm gonna give you Christmas presents. You don't be good, I'm not gonna give you anything.
There you go. It's just
It's not
religion.
Santa.
It's religion in another context, isn't it?
Yeah, but the point is, I never even got a Christmas present in the first place. All I got was birthday presents. That was it. Once a year. So which means
sucks, man.
If you fail your exams in school, you don't get a present. If you pass, you don't even get a present. The only time you get a freaking present is on your birthday.
Yeah, it's like
so you
we don't
get it
reward you
once a
for your
year.
merit. We just reward you
for yourself.
Reward you for being born.
Exactly.
That's actually a really good one.
So tell me why someone has to be good because of Santa said so. What the fuck? Who the
I love
hell?
how this conversation has moved all the way from sex to Santa.
Yeah.
Oh, let me put for the interest of mythical creatures.
Yeah.
A friend of my cousin, literally my cousin, until the age of 15, she believed in the tooth fairy.
What?
The
Until
tooth fairy,
15?
yes.
When you should be actually going out
and
looking at guys.
And we,
'cause
her cousins,
adolescents.
literally had to point out that the tooth fairy was not real. And she was shocked to her core when we told her, because she was like, my parents give me my money.
Yeah, they put a coin under her pillow because they think the tooth fairy dropped it.
Did they put in more than a coin? Maybe.
What the fuck is up with the tooth fairy too? That's a bit of a weird kind of
that
like.
is a weird thing.
Actually,
yes.
I wonder how it even like got invented. Who came up with
the fucking
the etymology of the tooth fairy, man? Because
just
some
some
weird
stone-
shit.
I think it was something made to ease children of their the fact that they had to break their tooth. What is it? We're talking about the tooth fairy. What do you think?
That's crap. That's some very high motherfucker trying to bring up some story about how he lost his tooth.
Snow White.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there's some
Snow White, a freaking bitch living with 7 guys, and then nothing happens, and then she dies, and then some random guy who kisses random chicks in the forest decides to kiss her to wake up. Come on.
But dude, there's probably like some archetypal meaning behind all these stories that we're not aware of, you know?
Well,
like
would you go around kissing girls in the bush?
Necrophilia, bro.
I often kiss girls in my
Dead girls in the
podcast.
bush,
It does happen
kissing
quite
them?
often.
You kiss girls in the podcast?
I don't
Could
know
you
why.
kiss?
Something
No,
about
not
doing
just
a
live girls. You
podcast makes
kiss
girls want to kiss
dead
me.
girls. Dead girls.
Dead girls.
Somebody's talking.
Like you go to a funeral of a girl you know, and then you kiss her up just because you want to wake her up. Really?
Hey, get that.
Well, I think there's a lot of people walking around these days in Melbourne that are a bit dead. But, you know, they're walking around, they're acting. You okay, man?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Falls of the Reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the Walking Dead here at Society.
Walking Dead.
People that are walking around and they don't have that light of consciousness inside
They
them.
don't. Have you
Just
seen
going through the
Melbourne
motions.
CBD right now?
Yes,
Every
I have.
morning you walk around, people are in their headphones. Anywhere you go, headphones on,
Yep.
world off. That's it.
Yeah.
I actually used to be on headphones a lot, and then I broke it, and that's what made me stop.
Yeah, no.
I like
you
to
need
do like
put-
the like one ear headphone, you know. So I'm still like got one ear to observe what's going on around me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be conscious about what's going on around you. It's kind of scary not to be.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I agree with that.
Take it easy, man.
We're good. You gotta balance out your feng shui,
And
bro.
it's actually slowly pouring down my pants, so move out.
That's what she said.
Well, what I was gonna say is so that you don't miss your train that's gonna move to another platform.
Hey.
That's why you put your headphones on like low volume.
That's true. Hey, have you guys like ever had guys and gals? Have you ever had a unexplained experience? You know, something really spooky out there that you can't explain. You know, just a really weird like occurrence that's happened in your life. completely like unexplainable, like weird, inexplicable kind of event that's happened in your life? Would you like to share one of them?
Well, my country has been a divided country for a while.
True.
In terms of religion and culture.
So is Melbourne. We're pretty divided at the moment.
No, yours is different. Your division doesn't lead to war. Ours does.
Yes, that's true.
And
we're not at that stage yet. Yeah.
At some point, I used to be in school. Let's say equivalent was year 9. And I had a couple of friends. We used to be in school at the time when the war broke out. And what even happened was most of us who our parents lived far away from school couldn't pick us up. So a lot of people left school and were just alone. And we were Christians, but the Muslims at the time didn't like us because we were living in their land. So they were killing a lot of Christians at the time. And I was lucky to survive because at the time, I hid in a drum.
What?
That was the dumbest thing I ever did. But I still survived. I don't know how.
Hey, well, it wasn't that dumb because you survived, right?
I hid in a drum.
Yeah, but there you go, man.
But
Hey, it worked out, though.
I heard my friends get slit, die.
It's fucking heavy, bro. Shit.
And the point is, they set the house on fire. Well, how I got out, I don't even know. Up till today, I don't even know. I just woke up in a hospital.
You woke up in a hospital and you have no memory
idea. Exactly.
of like how you got there. Maybe you have some angels, man, looking out for you.
I don't have angels because I don't even go to freaking church. I call myself a Christian, but I don't even go.
You don't need to go to church.
Well, hey, man, you know, like, was there any churches in the Bible? Did Jesus ever set up some kind of church? I believe, wasn't it just like a group of a few people?
Yeah, no, but the point
small
is,
groups that he used to prophesy.
But the point is, I was expecting I was gonna die that day. No matter what, I was expecting that, but
it seems like God's got your back, right?
I just felt it wasn't my time. But looking at it, years back, actually it happened this month, 15 years ago. That was like 2002. This month, just right after my birthday on the October 3rd, like maybe a week later, that's when this happened. And since then, I only see life as being cheap. Yeah. But precious.
Cheap but precious. Cheap in the sense that it's...
I didn't merit living up to today. Like, what did I do? I hid in the most awkward places. In a drum.
Yeah. But nobody looked there.
Nobody looked there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if they saw me, I'll probably be dead.
But there you go, man. I mean, like, you made that choice. It may seem
cheap.
unsmart,
Exactly.
but in the long run, you survived, right?
Exactly. So, when you see things, I didn't merit it, but it happened.
Do you think there's some kind of like meaning in that? Like there was some kind
just tells me
some kind of thing that had your back, you know, that helped you in that scenario.
I don't know, but the only thing I can tell is that at the time, God was involved, and then two, sometimes you don't merit some things, but it happens anyways.
It's true. I mean, we don't know the grand plan, right?
Yeah. Probably you're part of a bigger plan, but you're not meant to die at that time.
I think so. I mean, like, I believe in fate because I've witnessed too many spooky kind of coincidences in my life to discount.
you know, that I think there's some kind of like trajectory that the world's going, you know, and there's some kind of order to it. Do you believe in fate? Do you think there's a fate to things, or it's all just random chaos?
I've been thinking about this great story about like
chaos, I guess.
It could be both.
Because actually we humans are stupid.
Sure.
Pretty stupid.
In general, I would agree with that. We're pretty low on the consciousness level, for sure. What do you think helps people to evolve their consciousness to become more, you know, enlightened and more evolved?
Your experience, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Because when you see things from the angle of reality, you tend to understand why people do things the way they do. Because they've seen a lot of things. A lot of things have happened to them as well.
Experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, going out into the world, going out into that chaos and adapting to that.
Yeah. And then the thing is, after watching my friends die and then I attended all their funerals, one thing I could remember was that life is pretty cheap.
Cheap in the sense that it's easy
to lose.
Easy to lose, yes, I agree. It's really fickle.
And we actually played football that day in a small space within the school, and then we heard some noises, and then we go to hide, and then next thing I know they're dead.
Just like that.
But somehow someone
yeah, right.
That's all.
Do you think that going through that trauma has kind of broadened your perspective in a way, your consciousness perhaps?
It just makes me feel, well, let me tell you something. Everyone thinks similarly. It just makes you feel, a lot of times you could hide in plain sight, but people wouldn't know. Or a lot of times things are right in front of you, but you can't see it.
Because you lie to yourself, right?
Because I hid in a drum, and the drum was actually in a passageway where they passed.
But they don't think to look there, because who would think to look in a drum?
They actually passed me, and when they killed people who were actually well hidden.
So why were they killing these people?
Because they were not sharing the same faith, the same religion.
So it's like a tribalism thing, my tribe versus your tribe.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. What I'm noticing in Melbourne these days is we are becoming very tribal. I think I'm noticing this in the streets, and it's not at the level of Nigeria yet, you know, but we're all human nature. So I think if that tribalism is left unchecked, it will eventually lead to that in the end. You know, if we don't have a bit of equality, a bit of open discussion, a bit of honesty, you know, between these groups, if we just see them as the other and we don't want to empathize with them, maybe doing that enough, that's what leads to these kind of tragedies.
I think what everyone needs to do is to see everyone as a human, see each other as a human,
right?
Not color, race,
or an idea,
religion, idea and stuff.
Ideology.
Nah,
yeah.
just
people. Yeah.
Just people, like humans. You know, because a lot of times I figured a lot of people think more of people as descriptions, not as people,
as ideas. Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, they're not seeing them as a fellow human being. Yeah, you're right. I do notice that going on a lot as well. And what I find is a good way to kind of combat that kind of ideology is asking people what they reckon, why they reckon what they reckon. Because instead of, you know, just, if you want to stick to your group, stick to your own ideology, a lot of the time that's not your own reasoning, that's not your own reckoning, you're just identifying with that group, right? So when people are acting like that, and they're very quick to shun and marginalize and hate all the people that don't fit into that ideology, if you ask them why they reckon what they reckon, and they can't express their own personal reasoning, it's highlighting that they're not reckoning, they're dead inside, they're just going through the motions.
Let me tell you something. even after my incident, usually I would hate Muslims, but I have a lot of Muslim friends. But the point is, I actually had to go read the Quran for a point, which is their holy book. And technically, the book is more about peace than war. But unfortunately, some set of people who have more influence, have a lot of audience, go out and then say shit, and then that's what happens.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have this confusion that, you know, it's a Muslim thing.
It's not.
It's not, is it? Because all religions can be twisted by people to commit terrible fucking violence.
I actually
you know?
read the Quran for a while, and I found out they are more about peace. But some freaking extremists, because they know a lot of people listen to them, brand more music, more message of hate, and then this is what it turns to.
Yeah, it's like this guilt by association thing,
Exactly.
you know?
And
It's
then-
like if Buddhism has a lot of cool, peaceful kind of teachings as well, but at the same time, the Nazis took teachings from Buddhism and totally twisted that shit.
I know.
You know, but I think that is a symptom of the tribalism, just to see them as all that group, all Muslims are bad, or all Christians are bad, or
Yeah,
all
that kind of stuff.
Buddhists are bad, rather than seeing them as people as individuals. Yeah. What do you think are some good ways to kind of get past this tribalism bullshit and try to relate to our fellow people as individuals, man? Can you think of any ways that we can go about doing that in society?
Well, as for me, after my experience, I began to see people as humans and not based on what you have.
So
or
tragedy.
What you are. You need to actually
Adversity,
change,
perhaps.
You need to actually change the way you think. Half the times, ignorance is the major issue. Left to me, I would hate Muslims for a long time. But I decided to go to see what it is like being one. I never practiced, but I went to read their books to see how they think. And I found out a lot of times they are not bad.
It's true. It's true. But I think some people go to the extreme and think, oh, they're all good or they're all bad, rather than just saying they're individuals.
They're actually not bad. But all we need to understand is everyone has a right to believe what they want.
Yes.
But you don't have a right to impose it on someone else.
Yes, that's true.
So which means you can practice your belief, but when you meet someone else, you should be able to listen to the person. You should be able to understand where the person is coming from. Every day, everyone fights a battle that they are not willing to show someone else or let someone else in. Sometimes people act in strange ways. I don't judge them because everyone has things they are actually fighting with.
And you don't know what they've been through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't judge them. But sometimes...
Judge not, yet ye be judged, right?
Yeah, of course. You don't judge them. But the thing is, when you judge them, it's a problem because you try to make them believe you're better, but you're not any better. I'm not any better. I'm like the worst guy when it comes to a lot of things. But when I see people, I'm like, hey, come on, believe it. You know, it's fine. We're all humans, that's what matters. I wouldn't be going around talking to a dog. Actually, some dogs act better than some humans, but what else?
You're like, well, what's that scripture? Don't cast your pearls among swine.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe there's some wisdom there. Yeah.
So it means you need to understand everyone has a weakness, and you're not perfect, and we are different. But the only similar stuff is we're humans. That's it.
Do you think it may contribute to the tribalistic nature of people's mentality if they want to identify more with a tribe? Do you think a contributing factor to that would be perhaps people not realizing that they are dualistic, that they do have good and bad? Maybe they view themselves as just good, right?
That supremacy is the ingredient to tribalism, because you think you're better, but you're not. I am not better. I know I am not better, but yet I am not.
A bit of equality, perhaps. Maybe that could help out things a bit.
Like, technically, I know I commit sins. I do shitty stuff, but yet, if I see another person doing shitty stuff, the only problem I have is we do the same shitty stuff. Don't judge me. Rather, let's be equals here.
Of course.
You know,
I think
you don't sit there telling me you're bad, but whereas you're bad.
Yeah, but like I think a healthy distinction to make between judgment is reckoning. Hence why I'm doing the reckoning rather than saying you are this and accusing you and shaming you for that, seeing you as an absolute. I would rather say this is what I reckon, this is what I think, and be open to being wrong. So that way you can skirt the whole judgment and we can get to some honest kind of communication. Some honest reckonings, man.
Half the times when I tell people what I reckon, I'm looked at as either a pervert, a sinner, a bad human being.
There you go.
Because I certainly speak the facts. Like, hey, I'm not here to pretend.
Yeah.
This is what I like.
Yeah, okay. Me too, brother.
You don't like it?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I'm not going to assimilate. I'm not going to assimilate to whatever you think is cool. Cool. I'm the same. I'm going to be myself. Fucking cheers to that. I'm going to interlude this podcast now because I need a roll of smoke. But we'll start this up again later on, man. But it was a pleasure to speak to you. Do you have some final thoughts that you'd like to drop to Melbourne and the world? You have some final thoughts that you'd like to
Stop the freaking pretense, man. I've seen all shit. Nothing is new. Stop
the pretend?
Yeah, stop the pretense, man.
Yeah.
Nothing is new under the sun, so fuck it.
It's fucking true.
If you're bad, you're bad. If you're good, you're good.
We're all good and bad, right?
Yeah. Pick a side.
Yeah. True. Representing the reckoning, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in the collective unconscious. Beautiful, man. That's a good one.
It's a very deep conversation.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's very good.
Do you all have some final thoughts? Final thoughts that you'd like to drop? Bro, final thoughts? Final thoughts to the drop to the collective unconscious of Melbourne.
Yeah, final thoughts. I'm here with my boy. What's your name again, Us?
My name is Grandog, and you already know we're
Sudanese. Sudanese, brother.
Yeah, South Sudan.
Yeah. Tell him how it is.
Just kicking back.
Oh shit, he tell you how it is. But anyways, my name is Charles Harder. My brother over there that was singing, Philip Harder, Young Moses. We're gonna be hearing some new shit from us soon. But thank you so much for your time.
It's a fucking pleasure, brother. Keep it real. Keep doing what you're doing like a soldier. A fucking soldier. I love it.
This is battery cables. After
It's gonna die soon. I got 5 minutes till the train. It's over. But it's gonna happen again in the future. I'll email you. Get a photo, dude. Get a photo.
I'm in Melbourne. You already know it. You already know how we do it. Let me come in the city. Let me kick back with my. You already know it. How we do it. Let me go and grind. You already know it. You already know what we gotta do already. Hit it up.
Hey yo, I'm ready. Ready, Freddy with the machete. I drove a Chevy to the levee and went to see Nessie. Scuba bap, boom bap, cue saloon through tracks. Back to back with an act, rude bap. Like Skippy, Dizzy Gillespie and that kiddie Frisbee.